What up, people? My name is Lewis Lee, and this is Planning Traffic. And we do this every Thursday night, 9 o'clock Eastern Time. So check us out on YouTube, Facebook Live, and please like, share, subscribe. We got my man Alan from FAB Corp. What up, bro?
What's up, man? How you doing?
Good, good. Hey, me and Alan go back a little bit. A couple, about what, 6 years?
It's been a while, yeah. It's definitely been a minute.
Yeah. So I met Alan at Sema one year, and he had some hot paint out there. He's a heck of a painter and fabricator. So Alan, tell us about your experiences with Gene. You was with Gene for what, a year?
Yeah, I was there for a couple years, like 2.5 years. I spent out there, and it was a great experience. And out there working with Gene is just a lot of help, getting caught up on a lot of things that he needed help with. But I mean, one of the best opportunities that I had while helping was getting a chance to work with Ian, and getting invited, every year to do an episode. It's like pretty special.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. So people in the chat, we're talking about Gene Winfield. That he worked with him for a couple years at his place. So tell us about the show. I seen you was on a commercial with your cowboy hat.
I seen that. That was pretty big to me. Like I watched the show and it's really cool. But whenever the commercial came on, it was a little more of a reality, setting in.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, it's real. It's for real.
Sweet. So what do you got going on down there in Texas? You're in Levick?
Yeah, I'm actually in this little town called Wolford, Texas. It's right next door to Lubbock. And I've been here for forever. Well, we moved about 15 years ago. We moved to Houston and went to go work for some big shops. And that's how really I got started into the, customizing industry.
Mm-hmm.
I did mostly collision while I was out here in Lubbock, but the old cars was always my thing. I just love the old cars.
Right. So tell us, do you have a website that people can go check you out?
Man, I don't have a website. I get so far behind on my social stuff. I'm not very computer savvy. I've got a laptop, of course, the smartphone, but do I know how to use them? No.
Right.
I mostly use it for like the cricket or, checking out YouTube videos.
Yeah, I feel you, man. It's a lot to learn.
Oh, definitely so. And I try to keep my mind just around old stuff, so
yeah,
it doesn't really pique my interest.
So you are on Facebook, so everybody, you can go check him out on Facebook and see some of his work.
Yeah, definitely Facebook, Instagram. I try to post as much as I can, but I do about one every 3 days. I know I should post more, but like I said, I'm not that big on all that.
Yeah. Hold on 1 second. Ray's trying to get in. They had to send a code. 1 second. Sorry about that. Every once in a while, they kick Ray out. He can't get into the place. Hold on. Oh, I'm not seeing it. I'm sorry. Hold on 1 second.
No worries. Take me a quick drink.
All right, here we go. So, what cars you got in your shop now? You working on anything good?
I'm just working on my Charger, 66 Charger. Got a 53 Chevy station wagon that's really, really neat. I'm just putting in a floor. And I'm waiting on a 61 Falcon to do another floor job.
Mhm.
I always get these floor jobs because I mean I try to make them look pretty nice, like factory-ish, and I don't know. They always seem to just bring me more work.
Yeah. Well, that's more of a like a specialty part of the car. You know what I mean? Like you sit in that part. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
no, yeah, it really is, and I always try to recommend like buy the one-piece floor,
Mhm.
because I could always do the spot welds and put them back in where they, originally came from. And the 53 is really easy because it's a flat floor. So you just clean the floor out, put the
Mhm.
new one on top, spot weld it in, and it's ready to go.
Oh, nice, nice. My man Ray was locked out.
I
Hey, Ray.
was. Hey, fellas, I had to sign in from scratch, send a code, jump up and down on your head, sling the chicken over your head.
I don't understand why it does that. You know what I mean?
Every once in a while, yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. But
So,
we made it.
so Alan's gonna send us one of those shirts.
Ah, very
Right.
cool.
That's
Nice. I like that. That's excellent.
it.
So you're moving your shop to what town?
Yeah, I'm moving it to Wolford, Texas from Magnolia. And like Wolford, Texas is right like down the street from Lubbock. So it's kind of like it's Lubbock County, you know.
Mhm.
Um, but Lubbock would be the uh, biggest town next to it.
Now where on the map? Like if I was looking at it, north, south, east.
It would be North Texas, kind of close to Amarillo.
Okay.
Yep, kind of towards the top.
I'll tell
And
you what.
Magnolia, of course, is down at the bottom,
Yeah.
near Houston. We're kind of northwest Houston. So it's still an 8-hour drive all the way down there and then 8 hours back.
Man, 8 hours. I can go to Florida in 8 hours.
I know
Wow.
that's what a lot of people say. They're like, I can travel 3 states in 8 hours. I'm like, not me. We're still be in Texas and need more to
Yeah,
go.
not Texas.
Well, we're going from the top to the bottom. We're pretty close.
So any special things you're doing in your new shop? Like are you
Yeah,
gonna
in my new shop, I'm planning on. I want to open up a school, and start teaching like fabrication, from replacing quarter panels and floors
Mhm.
to chopping a car, sectioning. That's one thing that I've always wanted to do, and now I feel that I've gotten the chance to work with a lot of people, especially like when you work with Gene. He throws so much knowledge like at you every day. He's just soaking you with knowledge, and I feel that it would just be selfish for me to keep it, to myself.
Yeah.
So I really feel like I need to pass it.
Oh, that's a
So
blessing.
I'm
Go ahead.
curious though, when you have a school situation, you don't always know, like your students will come in at different ability levels and different, skill levels.
Right.
So how do you either work around that or how do you tailor your teaching? Because I've had that happen to me where I've had a wide range of ability with people, and you got a guy or a girl who knows virtually nothing, and then another person who could be teaching the class.
Right.
So,
Right.
and you got to keep everybody interested. So, what's your method for? Or do you have one? Because
Well, I don't really have one yet. This is something that I'm just like I'm planning to do. I'm putting it all together. I'm getting the shop put together. I'm getting all the things, all the tools that I need, necessarily to push this. And most of this stuff is like, not saying that my way is the right way, but if I could do a nice floor job, a nice quarter panel job, and then I think that's what I'm trying to teach is that method of
okay,
how to take them steps, not to skip any steps, but take the
Mhm.
right steps to be able to
right,
make a nicer finish.
right, okay, yeah. Because I know when you have, like I said, in a classroom situation, you want to keep everybody engaged, and the smart ones are you're leaving them behind if you're on the basics, and the ones who are struggling, you leave them behind if you're talking to the advanced group, and it's a hard thing to do, but but I don't know. Do you have any idea of what class size you're going to have? How many people you're going to have?
I'm not sure yet. Because right now I've I met this guy named Gino Walker in Missouri, and now we became friends, and now we're doing a chop together. June the 10th in Copeland, Oklahoma. So, after meeting with him and doing a chop together with him, or setting up a chop with him, it's kind of blown up a little bit, and that's going to give me a lot of introduction of how to go by things, how to teach, and just basically share my knowledge. This is what I'm trying to do.
Yeah.
Now, every time I talk to you, you're working on a chop somewhere. So how many chops have you done?
Oh man, I think at this point I'm pretty close to like 18, 19 chops, which to some of the veterans it's like I'm barely getting started. But
Well, no,
someone
man,
who's never chopped a car before, it's pretty rad.
Yeah, right. That's what I'm thinking. Yeah. So what was the hardest chop you've done?
Man, I would say, I don't know. Like when you do a pickup truck, you normally have to use two roofs in order to do one chop. But when you chop a car, you just use a single roof and then maybe add a couple of
Strips.
panels that you have to make.
Yeah.
And cell panels.
Now,
So,
why is the truck different? Is it because it's more square, or?
I think because the roof's more small, so when you lower it down, you have to make it bigger. Because it's small on top and then it's wider at the bottom. So
Okay,
when
that makes
you
sense.
widen it, you basically got to cut the roof in fours, like cut it down the middle both ways, put all the pieces in, and then fill in the center.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a little bit more work when you're trying to weld across the whole roof.
So I would imagine the older trucks, like the ones from the 20s and 30s and even 40s, would fall into that category. As opposed to like a C10.
Correct.
Yeah.
Correct.
Yeah. It's like making an apple into a pear.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, I would have never thought that you'd have to use two. But now that you said it, it makes sense.
Yeah. Yeah, because as you go down, I mean, it widens up at the bottom, so you've always got a gap to fill in. And mostly if you have an extra roof, you could just cut out the center under that one, put it in there, line it up nice. And the hardest part is just getting it all welded without it warping.
I was just going to say, what's your trick to stopping the warp?
Oh, most of that is just like you spot weld it, hammer dolly, spot weld it, hammer dolly. Just taking your time, letting it cool down. It's a process. It definitely, gotta have a lot of patience for it, because if you just run a bead across it, that thing will just warp up on you, and it's not good.
Get
After
loose,
that.
huh? Yeah.
Makes it harder.
All right. So let me ask you this. I know you were working with Gene, and he has a special way of painting. And
I
love how he highlights like the corners, like he paints like the shading around the edges and stuff like that.
Man, let me tell you, he's really, really good at it. He'll mix the paint and he'll spray it on there, and it's just enough to kind of change the color barely. And he puts probably 12 coats on it, and it barely looks like he put anything on there, but there's several coats on there.
Yeah.
And whenever I try to do like the inside pieces myself, and I try to mix the same mix as he does, I spray mine, and in one spray, it's way darker than his 12 coats that he put on there. And it's just like, wow, how did he do that? It's pretty crazy. He's really, really good at it.
Yeah, his car when you see one.
Well, that's what people have been saying his whole life. How did he do that?
Exactly. Yeah, no, I was blessed to meet a Lanny Erickson. He was out here in Texas. So he lived about 30 miles from, where I'm at now. And I became good friends with him. And the Violent Fantasy was actually Gene's first spade job that he had ever done.
Hmm.
And it's funny because he tells us the story that when he told Gene he wanted painted it that way, Gene laughed at him and said that it was going to be ugly. And then he told him, he said, when you don't like it, I'll paint it a solid color for you, for free. And of course, it came out to be this famous car. And it also came out to become the Winfield Fade, So that's how it all got started from what I've heard.
Sweet. I'll tell you what, man. I was thinking about doing a little touch of that on my motorcycle. I'm doing some new stuff to it. But man, I'm scared to mess up the paint. You know what I mean?
Oh,
you
yeah.
mess it up,
no.
you mess it up.
Yeah, no, never be scared. Just know that you could always go back. I mean, it's a lot of work, but
yeah,
it's always worth taking a chance because if it comes out super great, then it was well worth it.
Yeah, but guys like us are afraid of what happens if it comes out the other way. Now we're in super deep shit. It's like,
you're right. I'm not
have friends like us.
Yeah, I'm not really scared to mess it up. I just don't like to do the work over. You know what I mean? It's like I really have a critical when I have to do something over. It really like burns me up. Like, oh my God, I can't believe I got to do this over. And I'm mad at myself. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, I think you have an advantage nowadays with the base coat, clear coat. You know what I mean? So you can base it until you like it. If it takes a day or it takes 10 days, once the base coat is exactly how you want it, then you could just lay that clear coat on top of it and seal it in, lock it in.
Right. Yeah. So I talked to a guy out at SEMA one year. He was a lowrider painter, and he said he was doing paint jobs, and it took 6 months to do one paint job. Like he'd lay a color down, let it cure, sand it.
Yeah. Look at the lowriders. You can see why too.
Yeah, I mean, lowriders take it to another level when it comes to paint. We do a lot of, I've done a lot of just small custom stuff. And even like when I was doing the little mini truck paint jobs, like the one you seen at the SEMA the first time I met you, that's what I call mini truck paint jobs. Even those take about a week to do, because by the time you mask it all off, it takes you about 16 hours to mask it all off. And then about 5 minutes to spray a little bit of paint on your flames or the tips or whatever.
Yeah.
And then you would mask the whole thing all over again. And then you got to tape off something else to just spray a couple of minutes of paint time.
Yeah,
but,
I start
but
to
at
think
the end, it comes out great.
You got a hot, yep.
Yep.
All right, we're gonna let some of the fellas in, so they can hit you up with some questions, and we can get it popping. Let's see who we got here.
See, we got Skeeter in the house. There he is.
How you doing, Alan?
Good. How are you doing?
Doing real good, buddy.
It's awesome. It's good to see you. What's up, man?
Good seeing you too.
Always a pleasure, fellas. Hey, there he is, fresh off the whirlwind tour.
All right.
You're muted, Brian.
He's muted.
Yep, I see him.
There you go. Hey, guys, I was down your way. I was out there at San Antonio, down there at the Alamo.
There you go, man. I love the Alamo.
You visit Pee Wee Herman?
Yep. Ride the bike and everything.
Nice.
Yep.
I even did a Coyote Ugly. Danced on the bar. Watch out. Ain't nothing like a fat white guy up on top.
How much did you have to pay him in reparations?
Hey, I'll tell you, the best Mexican food is in San Antonio, hands down.
Yeah. Had a lot of food, man, I tell you.
Oh, yeah. And the worst.
Nice weather, though, I tell you. Well, of course, I left there and came back. It was, 74 today, 75 here, so...
Yeah, it was crazy. I woke up this morning and when my alarm goes off, my phone tells me the weather forecast, the local weather forecast. And it said low 28, high 68.
Wow.
Wow.
Yeah, isn't that crazy?
That is. I woke up Saturday morning out here and it was
Yeah, it was
snowing.
crazy here today.
Didn't even know how. But by 6 p.m., I was wearing shorts and a tank top outside. It was hot. It was like 62.
Yeah, I tell you, this weather is absolutely insane. It's like
It
everything
really
else,
is.
man. Nothing is simple, and everything is
Crazy.
you got to do 4 extra steps
like-
to just get around.
Oh, I know. So that's why I just stick with working on
Up in
cars.
the air.
Keep it simple.
It's like I'm going to Detroit Saturday to the Autorama, and they had that big ice storm up there, and it's going to be up in the 60s tomorrow, so all that ice will be gone. They didn't get no
That's nuts.
snow though.
Yeah, I probably would have went
Alan,
if somebody
did you happen to
invited me.
see? Did you happen to see Gene's reactor get?
Frozen. Like,
Yeah.
oh,
I didn't know I was
did.
going.
I did. That was
But
crazy.
did you see the reactor?
Yeah, when it was all iced over.
All
when it
that
was
ice
frozen
on
in
there.
ice. Mm-hmm. I did. I saw Gene picking the ice.
Yeah, where was it at when it got that? Was it in?
Man, ain't no telling. They drove it from Oklahoma, I
That was
believe, all the way
crazy.
up
I
to
don't know how
Detroit.
that
So,
like that.
yo, it got pretty wild.
Hey, I'm gonna let my man Roger in. He's doing that build. They're there now.
And
doing the build.
Lewis, if you want to go Saturday,
You broke up. You said,
Yep.
what'd you say?
Lewis, if you
It
want to
froze.
go Saturday, you're more than welcome to go.
Oh, now you want to invite me.
If you want to go Saturday, oh,
Now we're live with millions of people watching. You know, you want to invite me.
Yeah.
So are you going up there for the day or are you coming back?
no, we're going up. We're leaving about I think 6 or 6:30. Go up there. It's about a 3.5 hour drive, and spend most of the day up there, and then come back.
Let me
Turn around and
talk
come
to the
back.
chief and high commander. I might roll with you. Yeah, let me talk to her. But I gotta cook. I have to be back on Sunday.
Yeah, me and Bernie.
You know, I'm
Me and
passing no
Bernie.
free food. Okay.
Oh, yeah.
So, Alan,
Well, yeah, we're definitely
question,
coming back.
do you do any kind of lead work?
Yeah, we're good.
Did Gene teach you any, or have you done it, or are
You
you
know-
into lead work also?
No, I've always been anti-lead. You know, I really have. I've gotten a chance to work on the bat. You know, Bill Hines' bat, and that thing had a lot of lead on it. And I got to learn a little bit from Gene, but lead was never my thing. I always cut it out and just replace it with a piece of metal. You know, I've done all my cars that way, especially muscle cars. Right where the roof line is, where the roof line meets the quarter panel, there's normally a piece of lead there, and I always just cut it out and put a piece of metal there. It just, to me, looks a lot cleaner. It's a little more solid. I don't know. It's always worked.
Mm-hmm.
I guess
And are
it's just the
you
one-
basically are you mostly just MIG? Are you into TIGging? What are you? What's
Yeah,
I mean,
no.
I know you're pretty old school, so that's why I'm asking.
Yeah, no, I do have a TIG welder. You know, I TIG weld aluminum, stainless, mild steel. I use my MIG a lot because it's a lot faster sometimes, depends what I'm working on. But gas welding is, man, I love gas welding just because it's old school. You
That's
know, I was
okay.
taught by Gene how to you know, gas weld, and I was also taught by Lanny Erickson how to, you know, gas weld. So it's just experiences, you know, like I said, it's experience that I've been taught. I've gotten, you know, the honor to work with these people, and I just want to. That's what I want to share with others. Just
Right.
that knowledge.
And do you have your collection of rocks, sticks, and assorted metal pieces for shaping metal?
Man, the very first chop that I did with Gene back in 2015 at the Houston Autorama, we were there, and he starts drawing these pictures. Like, he gets these poster boards and starts drawing pictures of all these homemade tools that he ever made. He did 3 pages, and he said, "I'm drawing this," and he said, "and I want to give them to you." And he pointed to me, and I was like shocked. And he said the reason that he was showing them to me is because he knew that I would use them and make them.
Uh-huh.
And I've still got these poster boards, and I've made a few of the tools on there. I haven't made them all, but once I get settled into my new place, that's the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to try to make every single one of them pieces that he showed me and explain them all, how they worked and, what he made with them. So it was pretty neat.
Yeah. Yep. That's awesome.
That's cool.
That's awesome.
Yeah, that was really awesome.
It's funny. I have, from working on cars and we all have them, where we've taken a wrench and we've cut it or we bent it or we added a piece or we've done something. And it's always funny when you get the young guy or a new guy and he's looking at this thing and was like, what the heck? And you say, well, this is, when you did that job and you had that piece, and he's like, yeah, well, this is what I made and so forth. And I think the only thing that I've done, I think it was Gene that I saw, was the metal bender, where he took the 3 different pipes and welded them together.
Right.
And I made a small version of that. And
hey, I got a public announcement real quick. I got to let Roger in. He's there at the build.
Oh, okay.
He's only going to jump on for a few minutes. So hold on.
All right.
What's up, guys?
Hey, man.
What's going on?
How's it going down there?
Tired.
Oh, bad.
Starting at about 6:15 in the morning, and Tuesday night we went until 9, and tonight we're going until at least 9. We have to fire this thing and take it out in the parking lot and do a burnout if it's done or not. So we got to make sure we're done far enough for a bunch of 350 plus students, parents, teachers, businesses, school staff. Oh, geez.
Nice.
So I'll give you a quick rundown of what we've done in 4 days. We got the whole front clip just about ready to go on. Got a bunch of pinstriping done from Michael Parks, local guy. Brian's from Iowa. He's getting the radiator to fit in there right now.
Okay.
LS 5.3 409 horse on the dyno. Camaro subframe on the original 37 Dodge pickup frame from Wichita, Kansas.
Okay.
Tranny tunnel is in and done. I don't know if you saw the seat at the beginning there. I can show you real quick again. Shifter's done. Brakes are done. Wiring's almost done. Steering column's done. Gauges are done. Old cooler with for a battery box, donated by Steve Martin, one of our buddies. Fuel tank custom made by Dylan Dingley. Dropped it off yesterday. Phenomenal torque converter by Boss Hog. Good guys to deal with.
Oh, yeah.
I'll show you the tail lights here quick. So this is the logo of the school.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
So we incorporated them into the rear bumper. You can't see it, but length with coilover shocks, triangulated. Got the drive shaft back. It was an inch too long. Sent it back to them. They'll have it ready by morning.
Nice.
Just been crazy. It's just been crazy.
So you did all this in how many days?
Started Monday morning at 7 o'clock.
Wow.
We had to be done at 6 last night because the last teacher was ready to leave. So, what? Here's the seat. Guy's been upholstering for 64 years. I didn't ask him his age because I thought he'd probably kick my butt. So, if he's been upholstering for 64 years, how old is he?
At least 65.
Yeah,
Right.
he came in and did it today. Him and his one worker did it today. The whole thing.
Nice.
Wow.
So, yeah, we're pretty much wore out. We're shot. Rankin Technical College. You ain't gonna find a better school in the world. I mean, for automotive, everybody here has been unbelievable. We had to throw a little Chevy power plant on there, So,
Yeah.
everybody's been great. Everybody's been awesome. I'm gonna back up about 45 feet, and I can take a couple questions if you want. I got to get away from the noise. Here's the hood.
Okay.
Little old school pinstriping. Michael Parks, local guy.
So, what year truck is that? And is that a Ford?
1937 Dodge.
Dodge. Okay, because last time you were on, it was still a surprise on what the vehicle was going to be.
Yeah, it was still a surprise until a couple weeks ago when Rankin threw a post out there that of a picture of the truck on their page, and I was like, oh, wait a minute, we weren't ready for that. I don't know how to see if I can turn my camera on. I have no idea what I'm doing. Nope. So, like I said, 1 o'clock, we told everybody to be here. They're going to be here all day. They've got Rankin Days, they're calling it.
Mm-hmm.
So 350 or something students, parents, faculty, a dozen businesses from the area want to be here for what we're doing. They've already contacted me about next year. I said, let's get through this here, man.
Yeah, right. So how many days are you doing it until Friday?
Yep, tomorrow at noon, and then I think, well, done or not, it'll be done far enough to run it outside, do a burnout for everybody, bring it back in, shut it down, and then I think we're done. The truck is now going to stay here to get a bunch of other stuff done that they're bothering the teachers that we don't have time for, of course, in 5 days, 4.5 days. The team's been unbelievable. The students we've had unbelievable students. I thought we were all doomed by what I've seen in the past couple years, but there is a lot of future out there as long as they stay in it.
Oh, that's great. That's great. So how many team members are there?
I think there was 14 to 16 of us in and out. Full time, I'm gonna say 1, 2, 3, maybe 10 full time, and then we had probably a half a dozen part timers.
Okay.
People that can't take a week off from their job. That's nothing you can do about it.
Yeah, yeah. So now, when the truck's all done and completed, what are you doing with it?
Well, we've been discussing that, and I think what we're gonna do is a raffle. I think we're gonna put a number on it. Divide it by 20, and that's how many tickets we're going to sell. And when they're gone, they're gone.
Okay.
The only problem is I think Rankin faculty are going to have most of the tickets already bought up the second I put them on. I think it's going to be a dash. Yeah. All of these guys could not believe what we are doing in 4.5 days with the stuff that we had.
Right, right. Man, I'm excited for you guys. I'm glad. I wish we could have made it down there.
Yeah, it would have been awesome. We were going to use the extra hands. We needed a second shift.
Yeah.
Well, next year my mobile shop should be up and running, and that would be a perfect candidate for that kind of thing.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that would be cool. That'd be cool. A teacher and a buddy of mine and got a hold of a teacher in Kansas. They called me last week and said, let's talk about a build at our school for next week or next year. And I said, yeah, as soon as I'm through this one, I said, I can't put any more in my brain. It's very small and it's very full. So I'm overloaded. Just the meeting of the people and the talking. And I'm not a teacher, but that's all I've done. I left the mechanics up to them. I did all the social media, all the teaching on welding, and all of our guys did a great job with that. I was just super happy.
Good.
Those kinds of things are really hard to organize. It's not until you put a couple together that you really realize the amount of just legwork and I mean, you think about it, the average person, you might have to get in touch with like a vendor or a shop or whatever, and you spend some time on the phone and playing phone tag with one place, and you got 50, 60 different things to organize and coordinate.
Yeah.
It is just a total time kill.
Well, yeah, and they're all giving me shit saying, oh, you ain't working on the truck. I'm like, you want my job? Because I don't think you could handle it, because you have no idea what I'm going through trying to just keep everything moving.
Yeah.
And I talked to my buddy Scott Paul today, and I said, we're going to talk in about 2 weeks when I want to talk about cars again, and we're going to put a list together of everything that you have to have, because we've been battling this for 3 years, and we get here, and there's still 40 things you forget because you just don't think about it.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So they have about 400 cars on site. We've been robbing and stealing. In 2013, I don't know if you can see the hood there. We said, we need a hood. They grabbed a 2013 completely rust-free, absolutely mint from the parking lot. That's their truck. Brought it in, stole the hood off it. Next thing you know, the kids are over there stealing injectors off it for what we need. And then, I mean, they're just like, you take what you want, we'll just buy new stuff and put it on it. So it's just unbelievable on what they've done. The fuel pump is leaking. We did fire it. It did fire for about 4 seconds, but it was spraying gas out of the fuel filter. And it was just something that a buddy brought, didn't know if it was good or not. Started leaking. So they got a big nasty motor up in the other shop. And he said, go take that one off. Let's fire this thing tonight. So
Nice.
they don't even hesitate. They don't hesitate one bit. Go grab $1,000 worth of fuel line, pump and hoses, and bring it down here and put it on.
Nice.
So you ain't going to get that at a small school, So we got to be prepared if we're going to do this at a real small school that we have to have everything.
Yeah. That's a good idea to make a mean list.
Oh, yeah. A solid in stone list that you have to have this, and this, no matter what.
Right.
So I'm going to get back to it. We're about to clean up and shut down, and I can't thank you guys enough for the support and the hookup for the torque converter. That showed up Wednesday. We threw it in. The motor and tranny went right in. It was perfect.
Nice.
Awesome.
Hey, anytime, man. We're proud of you guys down there, keeping it moving.
I'll come on again when I'm sitting on my couch and I can see and hear you guys better.
All right, sounds good, Roger. Thank you.
All right, thanks, buddy. See you guys.
Good luck.
All right.
Wow is great. Yeah. That was
Hell of a project.
that's
Yeah.
a ton of work to put into 5 days.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
he came on our show last month, talking about the event, and it was a surprise on what vehicle they were going to do, and hey, those guys are getting at it.
No, they are.
That's a car community.
Yeah, no, and that's what I love. Like people like that, they're keeping the industry alive. They're going out and teaching their knowledge to other people.
Mm-hmm.
That's really what it's all about, is trying to keep this industry going.
Yeah, teach the youth.
Yo.
Yep.
Hey, Alan,
Sure.
what's it like working with Ian?
Man, I love working with Dan. Like,
Working with Ian, what's that like?
see, it's like when we work together, when we're not filming and we're just working, we probably say 5 words to each other the entire day. We're just like heads down, helmets down. We're just going at it all day long. And the difficult part is when we do film, we have to work and talk. And it's like, well, we don't even talk when we're by ourselves. So it's kind of hard. That's the hardest part, is trying to come up with something to say when you're not used to talking, because most of the time we're trying to get caught up. So when they do come back to film, we're caught up with what we need to do. So it's it's super awesome for real. He's taught me so much about myself. He's taught me so much about the build, getting it done, being able to enjoy it. So it's definitely different than whenever you're doing a like restoration for a person and everything's got to look picture perfect. It's way different, but it's a lot cooler.
I think Keith's froze.
Yeah, he's
Yeah,
had
I
some
do enjoy it
slow
still.
internet.
Yeah, the show's been really neat, and it's kind of opened a lot of doors for me also. It's helped me, be able to advertise my work like on the main stage, and that way it makes it easier for me to get jobs, because I don't I don't have to sit there and like, oh, look at my Facebook, look at this. They've already seen some of my work already, so it makes it a lot easier.
Nice.
So the question we're all dying to know is, have you ever chopped the roof on a school bus?
No.
Until you do that.
No, but I seen one get raised, and that was pretty neat.
Yeah, man.
Well, if Arco was on, he would be talking about chopping the roof of a school bus.
Yeah, I'd want to bring it down, and that one got raised. So still neat though, super cool.
Yeah, I need the space, man. My head was hitting
Yeah.
rivets.
I feel you. I'm over 6 foot myself, so I know.
So I'm gonna live in it full time. So I had to lift it, man. You know what I mean? I can't be ducking at my old age.
Oh, I know. I miss my motorhome. I've got a motorhome, but it's in California. So when we go out there, it's kind of like a little spot.
Okay. So yeah, when I'm down in Texas, man, I will be coming through.
Yeah, for sure. I should have my shop going by then, so it'll be
Yeah.
perfect timing.
Yeah, I might make a voyage into this summer sometime. Late July.
That'd be super cool.
Yeah.
That'd be super cool. I know there's a big car show. I think it's in March out here. It's called West Texas Roundup here in Lubbock, and it's pre-63. It's kind of like Lone Star Roundup in Austin, but it's just West Texas. So
you say it's pre-63?
Yeah. Woo. So it's a pretty neat show. It's been growing every year. I've never made it to one, so I'm hoping to make this year since I'm in town. But we'll see. They won't let my 66 in, so I don't know. I might just drive by
it. Light them up.
There you go.
You said you're out near Amarillo?
Pretty close. I'm about 2 hours south of Amarillo.
Okay. I have some extended family. My mom's cousins live in Amarillo.
Oh yeah, Amarillo's a pretty cool town. It's colder than it is here, so
yeah,
I'll stay in Lubbock for a little bit. It's super windy out here though, like dust, dirt everywhere. It's awful.
Yeah, but, it's out in the plains, right? Basically.
Oh yeah, flat lands all around us, as far as you can see.
Makes sense.
Trying to check out the chat here. Arco, you want to jump in, bro?
Justin Airbets is going to be at Autorama too.
Oh yeah. You want to
go everywhere, man,
brother?
I got commitments on Saturday. I can't go.
Okay. We got a celebrity in the house, KJ. I'm gonna let him in on the screen. You gotta cut your camera on, bro.
Oh, I thought you were talking about Terry.
That's the other celebrity.
My camera is not working, which is kind of weird.
We can hear you.
Yeah, I know that part checked out. And
Hey
You got
guys,
tape
I
for
got
it,
to
Wait,
roll.
All right,
let me
Keith.
see here.
I'll let you know
You
tomorrow.
guys take care. I got to take off.
Okay, I'll
All
let you
right,
know
man,
tomorrow
good
if
to
I'm
see
going.
you.
Hold on, Keith.
He froze on us.
Yeah, I think he was having some internet issues.
I think he was on his own 83-second delay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, now KJ's got his mic off.
Uh-oh.
Coming back. I heard that.
I should have heard that.
All right.
Yep. Did y'all get to a chance to see that electric bike that I've, been a little part of?
No.
No, it's an electric bike company called Shandoka Cycles. I helped the guy. His name is Ernest. I helped the guy make a swing arm for it to fit a, bigger motor. I think
Mhm.
one that would go like 75 miles an hour.
Wow.
And just recently, I painted a couple of fenders for him, and he showed it at some Missouri cycle show. So he had his own little booth there, and he got to show the bike off, and it was a pretty neat deal.
Yeah, I had to check that out. Is he mass producing?
Not yet. He's barely getting started. But the goal would be to mass produce. The swing arm I made, I know he made a 3D print of it, so now you can just order it and get the exact one that I
Okay.
fabricated for him. But that's a pretty neat deal too. Like I'm not really like into the electric stuff, but it is the future, so kind of got to have a little foot in somewhere.
Now, is it like a bicycle or a motorcycle?
No, it's a motorcycle.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, it's a
Okay.
motorcycle. So where the engine would go, that's where the battery goes. It's got an aluminum casing, and all the batteries are in it.
Huh.
And
What style
motor-
bike is it? Like a road bike or?
It's a road bike. Yep.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do you plan to do anything like a
it's
dual sport
Yamaha
or anything like that?
Originally.
You had to send me some pictures of that. I'd like to see that.
Oh yeah, no, they're pretty neat.
Is he planning on sticking to just road bikes, or is he gonna like branch out into the dual sport off-road stuff? Or
I'm not sure. I mean, I imagine like once he gets started and starts selling, I mean, the demand will push whatever
yeah,
needs to be made. But
Well-
I know that he does a lot of research and stuff, and like in overseas, they're still using the two-stroke engine since like 1972 to now. It's the exact same body style, model, motor, everything. And I know he's trying to go international with it.
is he gonna try to make like a drop-in one-for-one replacement kind of deal, or
Exactly that. You take your bike and you just gut it and put all the new stuff on there, and you're ready to go.
Well, hopefully he'll make his battery case the shape of a motor so that they can just bolt that right in and people will still think he's running the motor on it.
Yeah, I mean, it's pretty close looking. It's really neat looking. I've got one here, in my little shop that I'm working at right now. I attempted to make one, but I just didn't have the right stuff to do it. But I've got one here, and from his original design, like when he first thought about it, and he made it out of cardboard, and then to see it made out of an aluminum casing, it's just pretty neat to see the vision go from what he saw in the beginning and then what it ended up as. So
Yeah.
it's really neat being a part of that also.
That's pretty cool in itself, since two strokes have been outlawed pretty much everywhere. So
Yeah.
now they're only a
Right.
thing of our memory and imagination. So it'd be cool if something looks like it at least.
Right. No, it will be cool.
I love two strokes. I miss my two strokes.
Yeah, right.
I had a Yamaha 350. That was my first street motorcycle.
Oh
And
wow.
man, that thing was so quick. I beat up 750s all day.
Yeah,
Wow.
oh yeah, 350 is huge for a two-stroke.
Hmm.
it is. Yeah.
Well, they learned. Next light.
Bad.
Then I went to the KZ.
Yeah, that's a big leap in itself,
Yeah.
but a good one.
Oh yeah. Then I went to a Gixxer,
Right.
a hopped up Gixxer.
You just kept going up.
Man, I had to get rid of those boys. I was gonna kill myself.
Yeah.
And the bad thing is, my wife, you know, we knew each other in high school, so she's seen me a lot riding. So now she won't let me get a sports bike because she knows I'm an idiot. So
you got the wife, but you lost your history.
Yeah.
I guess it's a fair trade.
Yeah, it sounds like probably the same as me. As the only reason why I'm still alive is because of my wife. So,
Yep. Hey, we got a naked guy on the screen.
Oh,
here.
we got a naked guy.
I've seen a naked
No
guy on there.
class.
Definitely no
Hey,
class.
it's a family channel.
He was out there on the build, right, Paul?
Yeah, I think he is out there. He's going to get a shirt.
I hope he gets pants too.
Yeah, just the right camera angle. That's all.
So, Alan, what is your, if you had to pick one of the projects you've ever done to be your favorite, like that came out perfect, like I wouldn't change a thing, what would be your favorite project?
Oh man, that's a hard one. It's kind of like picking your favorite song, you know.
Say, if there is such a thing.
Depends what mood you're in. No, I really got so many, you know, and as time goes on, you know, I just keep adding to it. The last car that I just worked with Ian, we did a 37 Cadillac. That one came out pretty crazy. And, you know, I've never done anything that radical. I mean, we sectioned it 8 inches. The deck lid, we sectioned it 11 inches.
Wow.
We chopped it 2 inches.
So you stretch. So when you say section, do you mean you're stretching the whole car?
No, we channeled it, I guess you can call it. We just took some out of the body and just made it super tiny, and then set the roof on top of it. And we ended up liking what the roof looked like, because at first we didn't know if we were going to do a roadster. We were leaning towards a roadster. We had a Volkswagen roof that we tried on, but it was too small. So we were going to have to add like another roof just in order to, you know, cover the whole car because it was kind of wide. And we ended up putting the original roof back on there, and it looked pretty cool. So we ended up going with that.
What year was it?
It's a 37 Cadillac. So we also made it from a 4-door to a 2-door. And
now, are you pulling sections from a 2-door car to do that, or are you making everything from scratch?
No, we just made everything from scratch.
Wow.
Yeah, I mean everything. Like we had the 4 doors, and we just cut them up to make one long door.
Right.
We didn't make it that long, but you know, just enough to make it look right. And I think the coolest thing about that is like we really didn't have a plan. We were just kind of going, like winging it every day, and that's what we came out with at the end. You know, the finished product. And I think that was the most neat part about it, because instead of having a plan and knowing what it's going to look like when we finish, this made it a little bit more interesting, because it's like, should we leave the roof off? No, let's put it on. Whoa, that kind of mind blew us, and we went that direction. We're going to use Dodge windows. We ended up not using them. This whole thing was pretty neat.
So was that a build for the show, or was that a build for?
No, that was a build for the show.
Okay, so not like a customer's car.
No, it's just for the show.
So
that one will air next fall, I believe.
So, for the people in YouTube and Facebook, tell them about the show. What show it is and where they can see it.
Oh yeah, no, full custom garage, man, on Motor Trend. I've been on a few episodes. Like this is my third season, getting a chance to go out there and working with them. So it's been super neat. But yeah, Motor Trend, they're doing it, and I'm glad to be a little part of it.
Mm-hmm.
But it just
Well, hey, look, your work got you there. It's not like you just fell in.
yeah, I thought it was my good looks, but I think it was I think it was a little bit of work.
It was the shirt. The shirt.
I was gonna say it was the shirt.
shirts, right? No, it was definitely a cool thing. The first time I got invited to work with the Inn, he kind of he just liked the way I work. You know what I mean? Like I just always go in there, put my ears on, and just go to town, whatever I got to do. So
Yeah.
you
Sweet.
know,
So,
everything
man, the bad thing about this show here is people are all over the country, and we can't go hang out or go help somebody do stuff. You know what I mean? It's like a major trip.
Right.
Yeah.
This is our hangout. This is our garage hangout.
Yeah.
No, it's the thing.
No.
No, this is neat. This makes it special because this way, everybody gets to hear other opinions.
Mhm.
Sometimes you have questions, and this is the best way.
Yeah, it's a good format, I think.
Oh yeah, would be cooler if we could all hang out in the garage and then just
Build
turn
something.
some wrenches and just
Yep.
chat it up. One of
Well-
these days we'll have to.
Yeah. Well, Tyler's building a bus as well, so we're gonna be on the road, man. I'm gonna hit everybody I know.
Yep.
Man, for
My
sure.
plans.
We
So
are.
I got a 45-foot motor coach, and I'm going to use all that extra space since it's just me living there, and I'm going to build all my shop tools, my fabrication stuff, my welder, all that good stuff. I'm going to build storage for all that right in the bottom of the bus. So my plan is to be able to go to a racetrack or vocational school or car show or whatever, and be able to work on cars right there.
That's super neat. I'll definitely have to bring you out to Texas, and maybe we can do a car together out here.
Yep, that'd be awesome. Lewis and I and Terry have talked about maybe trying to link something up where we went to one of the big shows like SEMA or PRI and did a parking lot build right on location during the show.
Man, that'd be
Like
super
a
neat.
pop-up build.
Yo, that would be super cool. I'd be down if y'all invited me. I would definitely go with y'all.
All right, we'll keep that in mind because
We're building a roster.
Yeah, I'm quick to start a activity.
Yeah, man. I'm down. I mean, that's one of the things. Working with them. I'm only there for a couple weeks whenever I go, and we've got to squeeze in. Basically the entire build in them 2 weeks that I'm there.
Yeah.
And we normally get it done.
Tyler, what could be cool is you take somebody else's car that they built, take it apart, and build it as something else. Right there.
Water in the bathroom.
You mean like Terry drives his Trailblazer SS to PRI and we turn it into an electric swap vehicle in the parking lot while he's inside?
Right.
Or you just sneak that coyote in there and don't tell him.
Oh,
I don't know if I could do that. I couldn't bring myself.
Oh,
Or like with a big honking raised 4x4.
Yeah.
Turn it into a lowrider.
There you go. Yeah.
Yeah.
That'd be cool. Roll in as a one of those huge off-road rigs, and then roll out as a air ride slam truck.
Yeah, exactly.
That'd be cool.
That would be neat.
You'd make a lot of people mad.
Well, maybe.
And there's be a lot of people would be happy too.
Yeah. There'd be a lot of people cheering for that too. Yeah. As long as you're not taking like a world-class show truck and then turn it into a Mad Max, chopped up horror show on the way out.
Right.
Right. It's got to look better than the stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, we thought about. We also tossed around the idea of doing like a, almost like a charity type thing, where someone has a whole bunch of parts to put on their car, but maybe they don't have a mechanical know-how, and we could just get the boys together and do like a whole, blower install, cam swap, the whole 9 yards. One day, bang, bang, bang.
Man, that'd be super neat. That really
Yeah.
would. Because there's a lot of
That's-
people like that buy a bunch of parts. I talk to them all the time. They have a bunch of parts they've been stacking up for years.
Yep.
Never had the know-how, never had the money. They just save up what they can, buy what they can get, and just put it with the rest of the pile. That would
Right.
definitely be cool.
We know somebody on the screen right now.
I don't know what. Yeah.
I see the big smile. I know who it is.
Mhm.
Hey, I
Yeah.
told him just throw a hand up. We'll be down there.
Man, I'm afraid to cut the car. That's the problem.
Listen, you
I'll
go
cut
inside,
for
you make us sandwiches, and when you come back out, it'll be cut.
Yep.
I have a buddy. A buddy of mine said the same thing. He said, "I'll just show up," because he's kind of semi-retired, But he says, "I'll just come over one day, and when you get home, the damage would already be done.
It'll
Don't.
be
Yeah.
done.
It's
That's
already."
it.
So
Well,
Brian,
Brian,
tell
like
him
I
what.
said, you don't have to cut it. You could leave that part the way it is, and that can always be done later. But as long as it's forward motion, don't let you.
It's better
don't
than
let it
just
stop.
ignoring it.
Well, I know, but I guess, technically, I guess I could always not do that. And I have, like I said, 95% of all the parts.
Yeah.
Wow.
So Alan, it was your first car, right?
Yeah.
So it's a special car to him. So I can understand why you don't want to cut it. But man, they got a lot of bolt-on stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, that mod has to be done with surgery. So it's either you do it or you don't. There's really no way around it.
So I guess for the uninitiated, what mod are we talking about cutting the car for?
Put a rack and
Sunroof.
pinion. Put a rack and pinion front end in, and it's a '66 fastback Mustang.
Well, here's the thing. Once you drive it, you're gonna I'm glad I did it.
Yeah. Well,
you see, I disagree. I say if he drives it, even with the stock front end, he's still gonna love it because it's his car. And I'm
better than not driving it.
Well,
you may love it more the other way, but you're still gonna love it.
Now, the car has been with me since I was 15. Okay, and I'm 56, so the car hasn't gone anywhere.
Yeah.
And I've turned down every ridiculous offer for the car. So I don't really see, even in my most desperate times of I can just sell this but I know that I could never replace it. I've held on to it, but then I go back and say, well, everybody cuts them all up and everybody does everything to it. It gets less and less if I keep it bone stock. But that kind of contradicts my thing about keeping it original.
It's not bone stock already, though.
Well, that's true.
We're covered old ground, but some people haven't been in the conversation. You've already made body mods that, nothing's irreversible, but you've made some permanent body mods, and so it is what it is. It's not a good or a bad thing. It's just it is what it is. That's all.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think at the end of the day, it's when you're sitting in it, driving
Once you yank that motor out, the element is good.
Okay, I want to interrupt everyone for a second. Sorry for coming in so late and just being a real quick interrupt.
Thanks for putting clothes on.
Not a problem. So I can't even give you all the Cliff Notes rundown, but I will go to, if I need to make a trip to Maryland, give me a couple days notice.
All right, we got you.
If anybody's coming to Texas, I need a couple days notice. With that said, I don't know how up to date you guys are on wrenching for the future build. I hope you all are at least somewhat up to date on how much those kids have kicked ass.
Yeah, he was just on. Roger was just on a few minutes ago.
Yeah, they were on a little bit ago. We saw a lot, man. It was a lot of work.
Those kids kicked ass. And today's only Thursday. They still got another day to go. I don't know how far they made it. I left this morning at about 8:30. So I can't tell you what progress got done today. I hope they updated you. Starbirds was completely off the hook and wild. please watch the videos from Starbirds when you all get a chance.
Mhm.
That next year is the 60th year, so start planning that bus trip to Starbirds next year, Lewis.
Yeah.
That is not a show anybody is ever going to want to miss. It's incredible. That event is unlike. You all think SEMA's off the hook? Come to Starbird.
Yeah.
SEMA tries to keep up with Starbird. It's that much of an event. It's incredible. What goes on over a 3-day period.
Nice.
With that being said, I have to work in the morning. I haven't been at work for like a week and a half. I've looked through the windshield for well over 3,000 miles in the last few days. The Model A performed incredibly well.
Good.
The Honda went up and back. Now I'm going to bed, guys. Catch up with you.
Thanks for the update.
Paul. Thanks,
Thank
Paul.
you.
Take
All right,
care.
Paul. Take it easy.
Wow, that's nuts.
Yeah, he's down in Texas. I forget what part though. Anybody remember what part of Texas Paul's in?
I can't remember. He was only like I think he said it was like 2.5 hours from San Antonio, because when he asked me when I was going to be down there, he told me he was going to be out, and I was leaving before he got back.
It's probably around the Austin area, maybe.
Where's the Summit? He's like a half hour from Summit Racing.
Oh, I don't know where Summit Racing is.
No.
No, I didn't even know they were out here.
Yeah, I guess they just opened up last year.
Oh, pretty neat.
I'm getting some batteries for my bus, for my solar from China, because that's where they all come from.
Right. No matter where you get it from there.
Yeah. So they have a hub somewhere there in Texas. So I need to find out if it's close to any of you guys where I can have you pick them up.
Yeah, definitely. If it's near me, let me know.
Yeah.
I don't mind driving that much.
I was just going to grab my solar panels for me because he's about an hour away from the solar panel guy. So I got to use contacts, man, because the shipping is crazy.
Yeah.
Like if you buy one solar panel or if you buy a pallet of solar panels, it's still the same price.
Oh, I believe it.
Yeah.
Tell me about it.
Didn't used to be that way.
Summit's in Arlington, as per Google.
Oh, okay.
Arlington. Okay. I'm about 4 hours away.
Yeah, I think he said he was an hour away or 20 minutes or something like that.
I think he said a half hour.
Half hour or something. Yeah, I don't know. I can't remember, but
nice.
Yeah, a whole bunch of most of my district came back the same time I did, but they wanted to run out to what's the shop, the speed shop that Jesse James, Austin?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, they said that was like an hour away from where we were, and they were going to rent a car and drive up there, but it was closed Monday, and they had something about Tuesday. They weren't taking anybody in or whatever because of whatever happened on Monday. And
oops.
So a lot of guys came back. Everybody was bummed out because they wanted to take that trip out there to see that area.
Yeah, I think April 21st, I believe, is Lone Star Roundup. And that's probably one of my favorite shows that I've been a few times. I haven't gone in the past 3 years, but this year for sure I'm going.
Yeah.
I want to go through Jesse James' metal shop.
Yeah, he's in Bastrop, which is a little bit outside of Austin. I know he sold Austin Speed Shop to some other guy.
Wouldn't mind going through the gun shop.
Yeah.
Also, Jesse James sold out of that too.
He sold out of Austin Speed Shop. Yeah, it's owned by somebody else now.
Oh.
but it's still a cool place to go to.
I
Because
think
I've been to the new shop already. It's real nice.
I think he did that when the show ended.
Yeah, that sounds like older news. Yeah,
Yeah. That was a while back for sure.
but that's it. I mean, a lot of guys that the thrill is like to start up and get it going, and then sell it off and go do something else. Because that was about the time he went over to Germany and bought a lot of that old forging equipment.
Mhm.
Yeah, I want to go in there and play with that stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm sure he'll let you just go in and start pushing buttons and stuff.
What's this thing do?
Yeah.
Right.
Right, fellas, I got to jump ship because brother got a day job.
All right, so Lewis, I won't see you next week unless I get some kind of a crazy connection. So I'm going to be down in North Carolina.
Okay.
Uh-oh.
Yep.
Road trip.
Yeah, we're road tripping out of here on Monday.
Really? Go look at some more houses?
Yeah, actually what I'm doing is my daughter's moving down. Her and a fiance are driving down Sunday in a truck. I got to deliver her RAV4. So I'm driving her SUV down.
Okay.
But I have it in the shop right now, having the paint fixed for her that she doesn't know about. So it's got to be done because I got to get it into the other shop, my shop, on Saturday to go through it, oil change, tire rotation and all, and then turn around and leave. And now I just lined up another car for her, a second car, which once I get that all in line, I'll be driving that down to deliver.
Wow.
So I'm spending a fortune on rental cars coming back one way.
Why don't you fly?
Wow.
What's up?
Why don't you fly?
Yeah, we could, but like on this trip, I thought I'd be helping her out with the house she's getting. So I got all my tool bags with me and stuff to bring tools. Yeah. So, can't carry that stuff on. So,
that stinks.
I threw Terry for a loop because last week I went to Indianapolis to look at that wagon with my buddy. As soon as we get out of the airport, I get on the phone and I call Terry because I got to hook him up with this guy, about doing an LS and motor questions. He says, "Hey, wait a minute. I thought you said you don't fly." I said, No. I never said I don't fly. I said I just don't have the time to fly somewhere. He goes, "Oh, shit." I said, "Terry, I don't need to be kidnapped to go somewhere. I just need the time to do it." So I'm kind of surprised. He goes, "Oh, man." So.
Yeah, I thought you drove through here. I was like, man, you drove through and you didn't stop.
No. We flew in. I'll be driving back. We're going to be, he bought a 34-foot trailer now, and we'll be driving that out to pick the car up. That's going to be the beginning of April. So I got nothing but road trips ahead of me.
Wow.
Well, you can't pass me to get home. You got to go through here.
Yeah. I got to talk the other boys into it.
Yeah. Don't worry, I'll get you off the right exit where you be in a safe area.
Yeah. That's important.
Oh yeah.
Ray Allen, hey, bro, you're welcome anytime, man. You don't have to be invited. Just come hang out with us.
All right. Yeah, sounds good, man. I appreciate that.
Yeah,
absolutely.
We're here every Thursday for real. Except for
we can have one-on-one. Let me get my little hammers and dialies out, and we can practice banging metal around.
There you go. So we get ready for that Mustang.
Hey, a good guy sent me some hammers too, so I need to learn how to use them.
Right?
Yeah. You better break them in, man.
Yeah. Hey, the weather's starting to break, so that bus is about to get hammered up.
Yeah. Until we have a sleet or an ice storm.
Yeah, right? I know.
We had sleet yesterday.
Well, today it started out, it was 29 degrees and it went up to 68 and now it's 52.
We never got 68 here. We were just kind of clammy and overcast all day, and it was actually in the 30s during the day, and now we're at like 44 outside, so we're a little behind.
We're still 61.
Wow.
And I think it's supposed to drop tonight. It's supposed to drop and be cold tomorrow.
Oh, great.
Yeah, I think tomorrow the low is supposed to be like 25.
I have a meeting of the Romeo Club tomorrow morning, so it's got to be nice.
There you go.
So
remember the Romeo Club, right?
Yeah.
The retired old men eating out. Yeah.
There you go.
So I seen a video of a guy hot rodding on the freeway, on the expressway. I don't know who it was.
Uh-huh.
Not me.
Oh, you.
Me? What was I doing?
Wasn't that your video of your car?
Oh, that wasn't on the highway. That was around the campus at the college.
Oh, yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
around the kids.
It was a Sunday. There was nobody there. Yeah, that's when I first put it together. See, that's what I'm talking about. Like with Brian, I was driving the car in prime, no door panels, no carpet, no worries. Who cares? You know what? You hear it was just so cool to hear every rock bouncing off the floor. I couldn't have been happier. I put the door handle on to open the door and let me out, and then it would fall off. So I would just put it back on because I didn't put the clip on it because there's no door panel. So
Yeah.
and I had never had more fun in my life because it was like being 18 years old again.
Yep.
That's
So
super
old men
cool.
Yeah,
can
I
still
love
have
fun.
fun. We can. Yeah, that was a lot of fun. Love that stuff.
So, Brian, the weather's breaking, bro. Let us
I
know.
know.
Just let us know, and we'll head out.
Yep. We'll
I'm
posse up.
like I said, if I can just I need to make a lot more room. I'm working on it. My problem is I have no place. Hell, I repoed another toolbox, dude. I got no place for it.
No, you do need room, but I'll tell you this. So that I think to restore a car, you probably need a 3-car space.
Easy.
To do it right.
Oh yeah.
Now, to the contrary, I did it in a 1.5-car garage. And the 1.5-car garage has workbenches and toolboxes in it, so it really isn't even a whole 1.5-car garage. So it can be done in less space if you're the only person in there. So when you leave stuff, you know where it is when you come back.
Yeah.
You should see small Terry's is. It's a 2-car garage, but it's just a 2-car garage.
Right.
Wow.
Yeah, there's different size 2-car garages. Yeah, I know. You can do it if if you're the only one in there, and you got to clean up as best you can. See, I was taking everything, all the parts I took off the car, I kept even after I put the new stuff on because I wanted to make sure everything was going to be right. Sometimes you got to put an old part back on for whatever reason. So now you had the new parts, the old parts, stuff in transit. Oh my God, it was crazy. But every once in a while, I would just stand back and look at the mess and say, what the hell is going on here? I got to clean something up because you always have little side projects going on.
Yeah.
Within that main project, and then something in the house breaks, so you got to fix that. So there's always like 3 or 4 sub projects going on.
I got 4 cars. I got 4 cars torn apart for complete motor builds, blower install, the whole 9 yards right now. My shop is a mess of parts.
That's what I'm talking about. Exactly.
I'm trying to show you mine if I can get my camera over there. Hold on.
Any red leather seat covers in there?
Almost.
At that point, Tyler, it becomes controlled chaos.
Yeah, exactly.
But
like
again,
I have a helper who comes in 2 days a week and he helps me. And he was here today. And he said, "I'm afraid to move anything because I don't want to mix it up."
He's a smart guy. He's a smart guy because he knows, like, you want to clean up, but like, hey, some of this stuff is laid out. Maybe it's in order, or it
looks like a mess in there.
Oh man,
what are you at Brian's house? Are you on the other side of the basement?
You hit mute on yourself, Lewis.
Unmute yourself, Lewis.
And I'm really only joking because if you could see what I'm living in down here, it would be the 3rd one.
We all got the same problem.
We do.
Lewis, you're muted still.
Yeah. Still muted.
Did you unplug your headphones or something? If you lose with this program for streaming, if you lose connectivity with whatever microphone you're using, it'll automatically mute you.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I found that out the other day when I was messing around with my microphone here.
Oh, you got the black one.
Yeah, the Black Yeti.
I got the silver one.
Ooh, nice.
There we go.
There you go. You're back.
Yeah, that's all parts for the bus and sinks and toilets and all that stuff.
Yeah.
Ooh.
How many toilets you putting in there?
Just one.
You doing like master bath, half bath, guest bath?
You never know, man.
He's mounting one on the seat so that she keeps driving. Don't have to stop.
Yeah, there you go.
Oh, Wow.
Yeah, so I got a mess. Every time I work on something, I have to move half the garage to get to it.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's what
Yeah, that's
happened.
rough.
Yeah, everything I have is on wheels, so it goes out in. I live on a main drag, so when my garage door goes open and everything
You're
goes out,
advertising.
everybody thinks it's a yard sale or something's going on, and I'm really working on since I put the new deck on the back, having that door, and I want to make put a concrete slab under the deck, the same height, so I can just roll everything out and have underneath the deck. Years and years ago, I used to have a really nice workbench under my old deck, and that's where I had my strut machine and all that stuff. And anytime I had a vise on the table, and if I was messing with really stinky stuff, go out and
that's nice.
And it was real nice. It was under a deck. I mean, it was protected.
Brian, I think what you failed to see was every time you open the garage door, your wife puts a sign in the front window that says garage sale.
Yeah. No, I get a lot of, and it doesn't matter how far back the Mustang is or how much stuff is on top of it. There's always that one guy that pulls in and says, "Hey, I'm here to make an offer on that car." And I'm like,
you know
"Hey,
that's because
get the F out of here."
He's doing what anyone else of us does. He, with sharp eyes, you can see just by a piece of chrome or a corner of a car, you know what that car is.
Yeah.
So Brian, you're that old guy.
I'm going to restore it one day.
Right.
You're that guy.
That's right. Proudly speaking, too.
At least it's not in the backyard with a tree growing through the engine bay.
Right.
No. I wanted to buy. I went to before I took my dad to go look at a Cyclone. When I was looking to buy a car, and it was a '66 Cyclone, convertible, 289 hypo with a 4-speed.
Nice.
And it was red with white interior, but it had a tree growing out of the back seat.
Oh wow.
And my dad looked at me and told me to get back in the car.
Slowly.
That's crazy that people let cars rot away instead of letting somebody get it back on the road.
Decide to sell them and they want top dollar.
Yeah.
We went. What? That's a retirement plan. One day it's going to roll across Barrett Jackson's stage for $1.5 million.
Well, the funny part was,
with the tree in it.
Yeah, well, the funny part was I found a '65 Shelby, and it was down in Virginia. And this guy says, "You got to come get this car." And of course, you got to understand this was 30 plus years ago, so he wanted like I think it was like $4,500.
Yeah.
And me and my dad had a deal. However much money I saved up, he was going to match. You know, so we drive down there, and there's the Shelby, and I'm crawling all over this car, man. I'm looking for every number, piece, and I'm looking, and it's original. I mean, it had all the numbers and everything was there, but it had no wheels and tires. Sitting on cinder blocks.
Minor problem.
And my dad goes to the guy, goes, "Well, where's the wheels and tires?" And he goes, "That's why I got to get rid of it. Somebody stole them the other night."
Oh, wow.
And he goes, it was sitting in a townhouse, and he's like, "I got to get rid of this car. I mean, I have no place to put it." And, he had this whole horror story. And my dad looked at me and said, "Where are we going to get wheels and tires?" And I said, "We're going to buy it." And I said, "I can find wheels and tires to put on this car." So my dad was like, "I don't know." So 2 days later, the guy calls me and says, "Look, I'll drop the price, $2,000. Come get the car." And
2
I
days
said,
or
"Why?"
2 years?
Huh?
Did you say 2 days or 2 years?
No, two days later.
Okay.
I thought I heard
2 years.
Oh no, the guy calls me 2 days later and says, "I'll drop the price. It's $2,000. Come get the car."
Wow.
So I tell my dad, I said, "Dad, we got to go get this car." And he goes, "Well, what's wrong with it now?" And I said, "Well, they stole the top end of the motor."
Oh, no.
They took the intake, they took the carburetor, and I said, Dad, I'm telling you, this car is it. So speed it up 30 years later, roughly. My dad's over here, Barrett Jackson's on, and here comes a white 65 Shelby rolling across the auction block. And my dad looks over at me, and I said, don't say a word. And when that hammer hit, he was like, oh my God. And I said, don't say a word. And that was it.
Wow.
I took my dad on a handful of good adventures looking at cars. And each time the only one that he had really lost it was we went all the way down to some trailer park down in Virginia. And I looked at a 68 AMX 390 drag pack car, 4-speed. And it had this gorilla hair all glued in on the top, and it had all this stuff. And I knocked on the trailer door, and this big dude comes out. And he was a big biker dude, with a half belly shirt, and he's, mumbling. My old man looked at me and he goes, yeah, the car, just take the car, $1,500, it's yours. And we started up, and 2.4s, and it's got glass packs, and it's all loud. And my dad's like looking at me like I lost my mind. And my dad goes, well, why are you selling it? He goes, I'm going to the big house tomorrow, and I'm gone for 10 years. My dad said, get the F in the car. So it's me and my dad, and we're like crammed in this little Volkswagen Rabbit, all 43 horsepower of this diesel, and it was a quiet ride all the way home.
Well, I hate to say it. I hate to say it because the road trips with family, I would never tell anybody to turn that down because it's memories you have for life. But
oh yeah,
I really think that there's a couple of trips you should have gone on alone. Like 2 of them that you just told us about.
Yeah. So I go to turn the radio on, and my dad hits my hand away, and it was a quiet ride. I mean, we get because we were all the way down in Virginia someplace, and we get going, and he just looks over and he goes, son, what part of I want you to have a car that you can drive? I said, we went and looked. We had one with no wheels. We had one with a tree growing out of it. We got this one with some murderer with gorilla hair, and no back seat. Because he looks in, and there's, of course, the AMX had no back seat,
Right.
And he's like, it had no back seat, it had gorilla hair and a funny steering wheel, and and I'm like, but Dad, these are, this is what I'm looking for. He said, man, just find a car that runs, that goes from A to B.
You're like, that's boring.
You should have said, Dad, no back seat equals no grandkids.
Yeah, right. Good point, Isaac. Good point.
All right, guys. I'll holler at you next week.
All right.
Hey, have a safe trip. Be careful.
Thank you.
Yep.
You guys take care. Thank you.
Yep. Thank you.
Boy, oh boy.
All right, Alan, have you been to the after party before?
Nope.
All right, you're in it now.
You're in it now.
So
now we talk about food, music, whatever.
Well, we'll get to the food. Now we got to find out about Expo because I see these cool pictures. I want to know all about the Expo.
The Expo was kind of interesting.
Was it better than you thought? Because you were a little down on that. You were a little down going into that last week.
Is that a Matco thing or?
Yeah, it was our tool convention that was down in that's why I was down in San Antonio, and it was okay. It was a little light on stuff.
Substance.
Yeah.
Well, look, you sent me 2 pictures of 2 things I want already: the ratchet wall and the ratcheting line wrenches. I'm in for both of that, man.
Yeah. So I mean, like I said, it was okay. They had a lot of, unfortunately, the way the industry's going though, it was so much software information and electrical stuff.
You had some training sessions too, right?
Yeah, we had Milwaukee. One was on all the product. It was actually really good with Milwaukee because They taught us how to read the date codes on the battery. You know, it was all that type of, technical stuff. And the do's and don'ts and how their warranty works and what they will warranty and what they don't warranty.
That's all good to know when you're
And
selling
that's,
that product.
it's good selling the product.
Sure.
And then they went into some of the.
They just got to give you a better price matrix now.
Well, that's but that's them. Matco has nothing to do with it.
Yeah. Okay. That's what I mean. They should step up.
And unfortunately, I don't think we'll ever beat Home Depot version of it. And we did learn though that all those yo-yos on Amazon, those are all third parties, and those are against. I mean, I know it's hard to say this, or it's hard for them to do, but
are they factory seconds and stuff like that, or
right? And Amazon, Milwaukee, is slowly shutting those people down, or they know by serial number. So when one of those come in, they know they can say, I'm not going to warranty it.
Yeah, yeah.
And
well, where are those sellers getting them from?
I really don't know how all that works. I ran into this before. Back in the day, we used to have safe face welding helmets.
Yeah.
And I had a guy, he wanted to buy one from me, but he didn't like the price.
Mm-hmm.
And he found one off Amazon and got it. And I don't know, a couple of weeks had gone by. He had a problem with it. And he's like, well, you're a safe face dealer. Can you send this in for me? Now he wants me to warranty it, or he wants me to take care of the warranty part of it. Right. And I was like, okay. And of course I called in and they said, what's the serial number? And I told them the serial number and they said, nope, I came from Amazon. Tell the guy there was no warranty.
Wow.
Oh, wow.
And I said, hey, Ed, there's no warranty. He goes, what do you mean? And I said, let's buy the serial number. That's why, you bought it for, this is just price wise, you bought it for $89.95 and I sell for $395 because mine has a X amount of year warranty on it.
Right.
You're paying for that. And he wasn't happy. And
nobody's
like I said,
happy in that scenario.
Yeah, it just puts everybody in a bad spot. So, and then I did we had a couple I guess kind of in-house classes, about getting ready to retire, save for the future.
Yes.
All that stuff.
Do it
Work
now.
until you die.
Well, unfortunately, that's probably how it's going to be. But
My plan is to be semi-retired by 40 and enjoy life with living with less, living out of my RV, have some toys and stuff. But other than that, just work to have money to travel and go hop place to place and, work on stuff with people, for people, that kind of thing.
Yeah, well, like I said, that's been kind of one of my things about, I can't tell you how many jobs I've done where, drilling out, removing broken bolts, putting Healy coils in, small welding jobs,
right.
A few old classic 911s or 944s that need, work. And if I can get to a place where, like you say, live with a little bit less and just to keep yourself moving around, that would be my ideal.
Right.
Or media blast. Do you do any, Alan? Do you get into any kind of media blasting or sandblasting or anything like that? Or are you just more fabrics? Fabs.
Yeah, well, I don't do it myself anymore. Now I got a really cool dude that comes. But I do like to take it down to bare metal, every time.
One of the best things to do is that wet media blast, where it's a pressure washer that feeds the sand.
Yeah.
I've had some parts of my car done with that, and it is phenomenal.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, I've got one
No
of those.
dust. Don't even need a
Yeah.
respirator.
Yeah, that's what he uses, that dustless blaster.
Okay. Yep.
Yeah, it works really good. But he's learned on his machine. He's got the big one. He still warps the panels a little bit, especially like a hood. So he stopped using the water with it and just uses the sand itself and just not as heavy as he normally would.
Yeah, you still have to be careful. They talk about how it's not likely to do, but unfortunately, anything's when you're working on a car, anything's possible.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah,
I've seen a lot of stuff that didn't make sense.
Yeah,
So
no, it's really weird because one of the best sandblast jobs I've ever gotten, I take my stuff to this guy and he would do it, and I always.
I think you're covering your microphone. We can't hear you, Alan.
Oh, can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Okay. One of the best places I used to take my stuff, it was while I was in the Houston area, and I would drop my stuff off and pick it up a week later. And after months, I just wanted to see what he was using. And he was just using a regular 50-pound pot from Harbor Freight and a real tiny compressor. So it wasn't strong enough to, heat it up enough to warp the metal. And it always came back perfect,
yeah.
Then after a while, it kept taking longer and longer to get my stuff back. So I had to find someone else. But that was probably the best quality blast job that I ever got. Was that setup?
I have a blasting cabinet, and then I also have a hopper, and that hopper is probably what it's like. It's just a 5-gallon bucket, and it runs on a small compressor. And like I said, it's really it's a little bit slower, so it is time consuming. I've done a handful. I do wheel. If somebody wants some wheels done or something, or small pieces, that's what I end up using instead of even using the blasting cabinet.
I have the same setup, right? I have a cabinet and I have the hopper, but the hopper is just now the dust is everywhere because it's just there's no containment.
No.
You know what I use mine? I set up a tarp in my driveway, and I kind of tied her off against the fence in the house, and I pulled my car over. I had my Challenger, and the nose had rusted, so I just did the fenders and the hood.
Yeah,
let it all hit the tarp, and then I was able to reclaim it. But man, I had dust for days everywhere.
Yeah, I haven't had to. I mean, I do it out back. Like I said, I do it out back, and don't really. It's not too bad. On my hopper, if it's small enough, because it has where you set it on top, you know what I'm saying, so that the sand falls back down into the bottom of the.
What I'm saying is what you're spraying though is just.
I haven't really. Like I said, when I'm outside, it doesn't really bother or I have a problem. I can't do it in the house. Or in the garage.
For sure.
Yeah.
No.
Have any of you ever used like the soda blast, the baking soda blast?
Yes, I have a soda blaster too.
I even did. I went. I was one of Brian's guys. I was at Harbor Freight on a Sunday, and they had a small an airbrush tool, which it's like an airbrush, but it's a soda blast, and it's made for small stuff. Because I was doing some small detail stuff. It was close, and it worked pretty well. You could concentrate it and get a nice, fine spray.
It didn't make a big mess at all.
No. Well, I mean, the soda does, but I was doing small parts. I wasn't doing a big area, so I wasn't doing a lot of it. So it wasn't that bad.
No, it's not. I mean, I did a set of BBS wheels for a guy, and he had taken them all. They were the old school, 3-piece, and they were all taken apart, and I did everything, and it wasn't that bad. It is a little time consuming with the smaller stuff, but
no, that's where the cabinet's nice because you're inside.
Yeah.
I've done a bunch of wheels for people.
Yeah, between that and
hey guys, I'm gonna have to let y'all go. I got to hit the road tomorrow.
Oh, that's right.
Houston. Yeah, I'm going to Houston tomorrow. Bring another load for my shop out here and keep pushing. I got a car show on Saturday that I promised I would go to.
Heaven,
Not a
hell, or
problem, man.
Houston?
Do what?
Heaven, hell, or Houston? That's a ZZ
Heaven,
Top.
hell, or Houston. Yeah, they're all the same.
Yeah.
Well, that's awesome, Al. Always great talking to you.
Yeah. Thanks for
And
coming on.
you know, like I said, we'll bug you when we need some help, or come back anytime. It's always
Yeah,
great talking to
definitely,
you,
man.
brother.
Hit me up. I'm always down to do some work.
Yeah, no problem. I'll take advantage of it. Don't worry.
All right, man. I'll be
All
waiting.
right, Al.
All
Thanks.
right,
Take
man.
care.
Take
Have a safe
All right,
trip
thank
up
you.
there.
Okay.
See you, Alan. Nice meeting you.
Nice to meet you too, man. Thank you.
All right. So, Brian, not only did you get to learn about date coding batteries, which I'm curious about, but you got to be a celebrity fill-in, a celebrity stand-in, right?
Yeah, it was actually kind of funny because you know, and actually I was we have a handful of new guys, and this is their first expo. And usually, thank God it was not in Vegas, because usually these guys, you know, get out onto the town, have about way too much to drink, and you're like, the last time we were in Vegas with a new guy, I had to pick him up and carry him back to his room. You know, we found him on the street. I mean, found him on the sidewalks. You know, it's like, we walk by, and my wife goes, "Hey, isn't that so-and-so?" And I'm like, "Oh, Lord, come on, kid." Throw him over my, and that's a scene right there when you got this little guy, and then they got this big guy with a little guy on his shoulder walking into a hotel room. That's you know, that's an interesting conversational piece right there, you know?
Yeah.
So they usually, so I had a new guy with me, and I, you know, explaining the expo and the purpose and what you want to do, because most guys get in there and they spend X amount of money, and of course, you know, if you don't have a plan, you got all the, you know, you don't have a problem, because, you know, you got one hell of in 3 weeks we're gonna have one hell of a tool bill, you know, because when this stuff starts coming in.
Sure. Well, that's if it comes in 3 weeks. You're still gonna have the tool bill.
Yeah, I know. That's you know, again, that's the back
end. That's the back end of the deal.
Yeah, that's the part that I'm kind of still a little. Actually, I just looked before getting on, and I had 3 expo orders, and 2 of them have been filled.
Oh, nice.
And I think one of them only had like 2 back. Had 2 back orders, and I had that one had couple of pre-orders. They won't be in until May or something. So
do they do the same thing as Snap-on out there, where they want you to buy mostly in like these huge packs of stuff?
Yeah, this year was probably our biggest year for bundles.
Yeah,
and it made it
buy 7 toolboxes.
Huh?
Buy 7 toolboxes all at once.
Yeah, well, that was, you know, we had you know, that, you know, you had the one, you know, buy X amount of toolboxes, and carts is another one, and then they had, I was kind of surprised we didn't have, of course, we've had a problem all year with you know, some of our hard line, you know, sockets, wrenches, you know, some of the basic stuff we've had a lot of problems getting. And so we didn't have a lot of hardline bundles. That wasn't really big, but there, you know, like I said, I got one more order that hopefully will be, I'm hoping it will be pulled. It might not be tomorrow, maybe Monday.
How many Griswold carts did you order?
I didn't order any.
Oh man, that is such a cool looking cart.
I have a really, in my area, I have a really, really hard time selling themed people. They don't like the stickers on. They don't want the.
Okay.
I can't even tell you. This is. Hey, oh, here, I'll show you. Where did it go?
While Brian finds the products, we'll wait anxiously. Right.
Man, what happened to it? This-
Is the
know
Griswold
what-
cart a tool cart?
Yeah, it's a tool cart, and it has like a wood grain finish on all the drawers, and it's even got this picture of the station wagon.
I don't know what I did, but I had a rat fink cart from a couple of
wow.
years ago.
Yeah,
And-
I've seen that one.
And the guy, I mean, this one has the alligator driving the GTO.
Wow.
And
And you
has
couldn't
an
move it.
alligator guy driving the GTO, and it had the rat fink guy. Man, that cart sat on my truck for months, if not a year. I finally had to take the heat gun to it and pull all the decals off of it.
Wow.
Then how long did it sit there?
It was gone.
Yep.
Sold it the next day.
I looked up
So-
Griswold cart, and that's what I found.
Oh,
No.
no, no, no.
Not go Griswold. Hey, is that the
Yeah,
Pink Panther on the front of that I saw?
Is it? I think that's a bow. Well, if I can get it on there, I think that's a bow.
Oh, okay.
Bow.
No, I
For-
was seeing that placard on the
Oh
front.
yeah, it's got the Christmas tree on top. Is
All
after the
So, but yeah, it was funny because I showed the new guy around and we walked by, and of course I tell him I go see the sites and see, of course there's a handful of people that I always go see. So I went by and saw, Luke, and then it was funny because I was like, "What, you're by yourself?" And he said, "Yeah." He goes, I just wanted to see. I mean, I didn't think it was going to be, like last year there was two of us, and when we really didn't need to, so it's just me. And so it was funny because I walked by and he was like, "Hey, could you stand behind the booth for a minute? Like, I gotta go to the little boys' room." And I was like, "Yeah, no problem." So of course I'm standing there, and people come up and we're looking at all the product, and I'm saying, "Oh yeah, page 19 and page 34, and this is where we order, and this is our bundle deal." And one guy looks over and he sees that I have my distributor name. We have a tag on us. And he goes, "You're a distributor." And I'm like, "Yeah, I'm a distributor." He goes, "You don't work for them?" And I was like, "No, but everything's okay. Don't worry. You want to buy this over here?
Hey, no
You want to
attention
do
to
this
the
right
man
here?
behind the
Here's
curtain.
our new pry bar
Right.
holder," and blah, blah, blah. So then we are,
That's it.
yeah, it's at the Griswold, the trucker.
That's a cool looking cart.
Then they had, so my district manager is training a new district manager. So all of a sudden, Artie walks by, which used to be a distributor in our group. So Artie walks by and goes, "Hey, what are you doing on that side of the fence?" And I was like, "Shh, don't tell anybody, but I'm trying out for the next job, maybe."
Right. I'm exploring future options. So tell me about those cute thumb cuffs.
The ratcheting, yeah. They,
I can see by looking at it exactly how it works. And the only issue I'm thinking, assuming that the mechanism works like I picture it, which it probably will, you have to use a ratchet on the side.
or,
So there may be a space.
extension to
There
raise
may
up.
be a space issue. Yeah, well, extension. No, you'd want that on the bottom.
Well, it depends on which way you're going, but like if you were going for, let's say, a transmission line on side of a transmission, you could use a extension, 3-4 inch extension to pull back, and then it ratchets the.
Yeah, you have to see in the application if you have the right leverage. But I mean, it looks promising. I would definitely give that a shot. Now, that's a totally new product now, right?
It's totally new. It's not out yet. We might see it sometime in what was it? Let's see, February, March, May, maybe May or June.
Well, if they need people to do pre-product testing, put my name on the list.
Yeah, well, I don't know. I'm telling you, Ray. I know. Don't worry. I'll find some of the ratcheting, the first set of ratchet in a wrench form, and they were nothing but junk, nothing but problems. And
No, that's Oh wait,
That's not them.
No, that's a those are they call them. That's a finger ratchet
those
set or
little
whatever.
finger spinners.
Yeah, those are. I sent you a video of it.
No, it was a picture. Can I show them
There
the picture?
should be there was a video too.
Oh,
Okay. Yeah.
so you
And
can
then
see how it works.
So then you can stick a ratchet, go straight down on that, and you could
So
turn
it's like
and
a,
it would.
it's like a ratcheting crow's foot.
Right.
Yeah,
Right. Exactly.
yeah.
Exactly.
You should. There should be a video. I was trying to hold it one hand by moving around. You can see the mechanism click on it.
Let me see.
But
So
the
did you
Vim
give
guy, I mean, that's from them, and those
Oh
guys.
wait, there is a video. Yeah.
Those guys are pretty good. I mean, they'll get it.
How many teeth is it?
Yeah. Yeah.
127 teeth.
The
Yeah.
tooth wars.
Yeah.
So, and then,
That's funny.
so of course it was funny because I've had I don't know if I have one here. Did you get any of the line wrenches with the flex in on them on one end?
No.
There's a German company that makes these line wrenches, and they have a flex on one end but straight on the other.
I've
really,
seen them, yeah.
very good wrenches. The problem is, like all line wrenches, they're too short.
Yeah.
And so I went over and I told the German dude, I was like, hey, he's like, what? I said, man, we got to make these things longer. And he's like, who would want longer wrenches? And I was like, dude, why do they have stubby wrenches, medium wrenches, extra long wrenches? Why do they have wrenches with flex ends? Why do they have ratcheting wrenches, non-ratcheting, 6 point, 12 point, 8 point? So square. And he just looked at me and I said, I went and talked to the other guy at AJ Manufacturing, and he laughed at me. So I'm coming to you guys and say, look, make this wrench about 3 inches longer all the way across the board through the scale, and and I guarantee you'll sell them. So then he looks over at the next guy comes in. He wasn't even there for the conversation. He goes, hey, what do you think about making these wrenches longer? Well, it's about damn time. My guys ask for longer wrenches all the time.
There you go.
And I said, you don't need to pay me.
The only problem is you can't. Now I don't know what length you're talking about. You can't go too long because a lot of times you are a little constricted with space.
No, that's true. But I was
the leverage on the initial brake is where you need the length.
Yeah,
because then you're switching to the open end anyway.
Right. Well, and then again, like I said, we all have about. How many wrenches do you have? How many, 8mm wrenches do you have if you're, or a 10mm wrench that,
Are we just counting the out of the box ones or all the customs?
Yeah, well, that's not right. Well, that's what I'm saying. So you break it loose and then you go grab another wrench
I'll tell you what I did. Through all the different cars I worked on, I started collecting the different wrenches, really mostly for bleeder screws. And I just put them all in the drawer of my toolbox where I have the brake tools. Because now I don't have to go hunting for them again. They're all there.
Yeah.
Little 5/16 wrenches or 10 short 10s. And
so that was like I said, that part, but it was funny. And then we had, but I tell you, I shouldn't really say anymore.
No one's listening. It's okay.
Yeah, I know. Well,
you can tell us about the taco truck.
The taco truck.
Carolina hot dog truck.
Listen, and were you on this might have been the first time I was ever on this show where we were talking about various companies' Z's doing less than savory activities out of their trucks. And there was one who had a mobile pimp service.
Yeah,
that's way before I ever came on, but I don't even remember hearing that show.
Oh yeah, that was interesting because we were it was 2018, I think, and we were promoting my my stunt team's Carlisle Bandit jump.
I remember that night. Yeah, I remember the show.
And that was the first time I ever talked to Brian, and you know, I was pretty fresh off the Snap-on truck at the time.
Oh,
and we had a little headbutting going on, you know, friendly. But we got to talking about people getting in trouble, you know, reasons that franchises get revoked and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And, I don't know if it was my story or his story, or but
no, it was one of yours. But we've had a lot of guys. You know, they get into selling sex toys, drugs. I mean, all kind. I mean, it's crazy.
So the gist of it was this guy had an assistant that rode with him, and you know, one or two guys in the shop would be in the know. He'd pull up, he'd go out, customer would go in, he'd lock the truck door and go and do his rounds, and you know, the customer's in there making a deposit on his account, so to speak. And
I guess that's why I got to stock those pig mats, huh?
Right.
Yeah,
that one was crazy.
Wow.
Yeah, tell you, there's, and even back in the day, so talking to some of the older distributors than me, some of the stuff they talk about is pretty crazy.
Right.
So
I don't know how Matco does their territory stuff and whatnot, but Snap-on changed theirs in the mid to late 90s. It used to be they were dealers and they had territories. And then in the late 90s, it changed to being franchises with a protected list of calls, which is basically just a list of addresses of shops.
Right.
So in some of the more congested areas, you'll get these guys where, you know, they'll be on the main drag and the Snap-on guys are going like this because it looks like a zipper, you know, because they'll have two shops on this side and one shop on the other side, and then the next two shops are the other guy and all this other stuff, right? We had a dealer converted to a franchise that one of his stipulations to convert to a franchise was I want my protected area. And so for the longest time, it took them almost 20 years to get him to actually switch to a list of calls.
Yeah. We have what we have are called charter members, and that was the same way like Snap-on it earlier on. And those guys usually had a really big area, and they owned their area. I'm only a couple classes in for being franchised, so I have a list of calls, and technically I have the address. So I got one now. I've got one shop that picked up and moved 3 miles down the road, and now they're in a different area. So technically I own the shop.
Right.
But now it's in a different place and a different distributor and the whole 9 yards. So it's kind of like,
so now you got to finagle
and so I don't know.
You don't want to step on toes and make a rough relationship with your neighbor dealer and all that stuff, but
But technically, you know, again, and of course it's been a week now. So now I'm constantly getting texts from all these guys. Hey, I need this, and I need that. And of course, I don't think there's actually a guy in there yet. I think there's supposed to be a guy starting. But what happens is, because I've had this happen, because back how you were saying how you had a different zigzag of, you know, I had a guy that was a charter guy. And I had two shops on one side. He had three on the other, and then it was two, and it was the same thing. It was a real mess because of that. But a lot of times, these new guys, somebody say, "Hey, I want you to come to my shop," and they say, "Well, you're not on my list of calls. I can't go in there. I got to get it cleared first because technically."
Probably someone else's place.
It could be somebody else's place, or
Well, what
again,
happens
like
in
I
the case
said,
of that shop now that moved the guys that owe you money?
well, that guy's supposed to collect, and he's supposed to pay me the money.
Oh man!
But usually, unfortunately, it depends on. Dealing with a lot of bad distributors. They don't.
Now you guys probably do like truck account, credit account, that kind of thing.
Yeah, same thing.
Yeah,
So your EC is our PSA, and then that type of stuff.
Yeah,
that's macro credit, or like your Snap-on credit, your EC accounts,
yep,
and so forth. So,
yep,
it's a real.
I miss running a tool truck. I enjoyed the job a lot, but it was my area. I had an uphill battle. It sucked.
And again, for and I joke about it to a point, like I have such a bigger area. During my time period, or my franchise time, the area they gave you a bigger area. Now the newer guys come in, it's not as big.
Yeah.
And they did that with a Snap-on too. They were, where they cut that's why, like before, when you had your guys that had your earlier guys, it was like a Wild West, because there was no real landmark, or there was no set area. So you get these guys running all over the place.
Yep.
And and that's why they went in. Now they're even talking about they don't even want us to. They don't even want me to have anything to do with the Matco name now, because of before, because somebody took them. The same thing happened to Snap-on, where they were like, well, we're repairing and fixing stuff and not getting paid a labor. There's no pay. And it came down to we're working. We're not working. How I can try and word it right. It's like you're working and they're not paying you for doing the job.
Okay.
It was a labor issue type thing, because we're repairing your toolboxes, we're repairing your ratchets, we're repairing this, and we're not getting paid a service call. There's no labor, and it's actually, I don't want to really go into it online, but
I got you. Yeah.
There's a lot of stuff.
There was a hoopla about warranty work.
Yeah, it's you're doing X amount of work, not getting compensated for it. And actually, I think they really opened themselves up even more, because we had the ratchet rebuild show off at the OK Corral, at the thing where they were timing people on ratcheting repairs.
Oh my.
So, and most guys were hitting around a 1 minute mark to rebuild a ratchet. So
I can see that.
Okay. So good. 1 minute. So then you turn around and you do
Snap-on started putting theirs in like little trays. Like you just drop everything in, boom.
Yeah. So you do 5 a day. That's 5 minutes.
Right.
And you do 25 a week. So now you're at 25 minutes. Mm-hmm. So now you see where I'm going, that they kind of, I think they were trying to start when they did this and timing everybody now. So then you figure you have 1,800 of us, and we're times that by 25. That's I think they kind of set themselves up of being free labor.
Right. Yeah, they put themselves on the map, right?
So, and of course I want the ratchets to be 1-for-1 with the warranty. Okay. So I rebuild 5 of them. I send 5 kits in, send me 5 kits. Okay. I'm paying for it. Now I pay for them. So yeah,
you're paying for them up front.
pay for them up front, and then I get a credit. So it's a money Ponzi scheme for me.
Right.
They take my cash, and then they're going to send me a credit. Well, the credit doesn't help me buy food for my family, and
Right.
I spend
I know.
$800 and repair kits.
Right. I know a couple dealers who they would hoard repairs, and they'd send in $50,000 worth of warranty parts in one shot. You know, box after box after box, and they get audited more. You know, because they're doing that, so they need to go through every box and account. You know, weigh stuff and all that stuff, check part numbers, blah 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 blah. The corporate people hate that, but I mean, then he gets a $50,000 credit on his statement, you know?
Yeah. Yeah. I did that 1 year. I sent in, it was something like $9,200 in broken tools and got the credit. But the problem was I ended up screwing myself because by my franchise agreement, I have to maintain a certain buying amount. So I sent in $9,200. So for me to stay where I was, I would have to buy like $1,800 worth of $18,000 worth of stuff.
Right.
Because the 92 goes against your purchase average. So it took me.
It's a negative purchase.
So right. So now it's negative, and now I was like, so then I got the phone call. What's going on? What are you doing?
Right.
You're below your levels. You need to buy. Are you getting out? We're cutting you off. You know.
Right. They start to freak out, right?
Yeah, and you're like, Jesus Christ. You know, you have to buy what just to stay, you have to buy what you sent in, and then that's why a lot of people will do it right before Expo, because you know, like one of our guys, you know, he bought $100,000 worth of stuff, but you know, 2 weeks before Expo, he sent in, you know, $50,000, you know, so that way he won't upset his purchase average.
Yeah.
It's a lot of math, a lot of playing with numbers, and you know, Matco math. I'm sure Snap-on math is the same way. Sometimes you're looking at stuff and you're like, dude, this doesn't make sense. You know, how can 1 + 1 = 3? And you put a 3 in there and you think it should be 5, and now it's 4. It just doesn't make sense. So,
exactly. Yep.
They have a crazy mathematics.
All right. So anyway, Brian, since every store we go in, I'm looking, and I caught that dude in Target the other day.
Yeah.
Let me tell you, I'm just walking by the aisle, and I looked down the Hot Wheels aisle, and there was this guy with a little kid in a stroller, and this guy was pulling cars off the shelf, looking at each one, putting them back. I called my wife, said, look, he's doing what Brian does. I said, he's looking for his treasure hunts. And then I snapped a picture of him. And then as I came around the other side of the aisle, I saw his wife was in there. She was doing the same thing.
Yeah.
It's a couple's fucking battle here. Look at this.
Yeah.
So,
they're probably they probably make their living selling stuff on eBay.
Yeah, probably. Right. I want to go in and just grab just a random car and say, "Oh, look what I got!" And run out of the aisle and have the guy chase me.
What you want to do? You want to do me? That's
Google
what
most
you want to
desirable Hot Wheels, you know, and shout that name out in the aisle.
And I said it's got to be Target, because I know Brian goes to Target all the time.
Yeah.
But so my wife gives me this thing. She goes, "Oh, does Brian know about this guy? It's the Hot Wheels Museum in Gaithersburg, Maryland. Yeah, it's this guy Bruce Pascal.
Yeah, he's been there.
No, actually, I have not. I came across this guy about 6 years ago.
That's not the guy. The video I sent you a couple weeks ago. Is it? Okay, he's the guy. All right.
He had a falling out with the guy because the guy was trying to get Hot Wheels off of him.
No. It was funny because I never heard of him, and somebody sent me the YouTube about 7 years ago.
Okay.
And I was like, damn, I gotta try to find this guy. And then of course, you know, the pandemic and the whole 9 yards. And somehow he made it back on the news because he was just on the news here. And of course, now I got all these people running around fucking Target grabbing Hot Wheels, thinking they're going to make $1 million.
Right. Yeah, that's the way it is.
He has a lot of prototype and artwork stuff.
Yeah,
he's got a lot of artwork stuff, and
I
said,
cool.
That's the new. That's Matchbox. Yeah, the artwork. Nice. Yeah, that's nice. Do you get the trailer for the motorcycle with that? Oh,
that would be really cool.
I found that at O'Reilly's. I was picking up tools and I looked down and found both of these.
This is the new drag pack set.
Oh yeah, I saw that in the store. Yeah, I saw that.
Really?
Yeah, I saw it in what was it? Was it the ShopRite or
the one that there's down in the bottom corner where it says 3.
But it was a blue car. Yeah,
it was 3 of
3 out of 5.
You want to find the one that's 0, but this was the ones on the back. You had the Charger. I just found the VW today. The Bug.
Wow. Okay.
I've been looking. Here's the. This is
on
the
back.
one.
Is that the Demon or the Charger?
This is the regular one. If you see a black one, that's the Chase one. And I was actually kind of funny when I got back from San Antonio, and I had to go get the truck fuel, put fuel in the truck. I had to run out to my storage unit. Had to get some. I said, I'll just swing by.
Right.
And
they missed me.
And it was funny because it's out in the tool truck. I didn't bring it in. But they did one with Braille writing on the package.
Uh-huh.
And that's
I think
really
I saw a short story or something recently about that.
Yeah, it's the twin mill, and it had Braille writing.
Oh, cool!
And that was really cool. And I found that's when I found the other. I found the Charger.
He went and picked it up. Now the poor blind kid ain't going to be able to find it.
Right.
Yeah, I know. That's terrible.
That's like parking in a handicapped parking spot outside of the doctor.
Yeah. So exactly. You found the cars for yourself, Brian. Have you found a car for your daughter yet?
Yeah.
Oh, good. What'd you find?
We got a Jetta.
A to B car.
We actually, because she wanted to go buy, something new at the dealer, and we had a long talk, and I just told her, I think, instead of, because you got into this house with your, got into this house with your boyfriend, you have this extra rent. And I said, you got roughly a year before anybody will really take you. I said, you pay outright, you get a car. And we got her pretty decent. It was a pretty decent, it was 2010, I think. 2010?
That's good.
Jetta. And it was, really super. The interior was super clean. I couldn't get over black leather, silver car, really nice.
Get a
TDI? No, just a base model. But had a sunroof, which was not as nice. Her other one didn't have a sunroof, but the 2.5, just a good, reliable car.
This is pretty funny because now that my daughter's moving down to North Carolina, they're going to need a second car. So she was asking me what to get. I said, look, I don't know anybody down there. I have no juice where you're going. I said, my power base is up here. So it ends up at the shop. They had my buddy Mike says, hey, your daughter have a sense of humor? He goes, show her this one. So it's kind of fucking light. You can't see. It's a Honda.
Oh yeah, look at that.
Rusty hood.
It runs great. It's got these black painted wheels, and the paint's all peeling on the side. You know,
Yeah.
So
that a 97 Accord?
it's around that, yeah. So of course she was horrified. She goes, "No, Dad, I'm gonna be living in a gated community. I need something nice." I'm like, "Well, your RAV4, the paint flew off the roof. She doesn't know that I took her car and sent it in. I'm having it painted for her,
Right.
You know, so she doesn't know that yet." I said, "Well, look, you're driving a car with no paint." So it ends up, I got her an 07 Volvo XC90.
Oh yeah.
I got to do a little work to it. It's got a couple of little issues, but I did find out when I took it with the transporter plate yesterday and drove around for the day. And I was talking with one of the kids from the shop. He says, "Oh, it's only a 2-owner car." I was like, I was wondering about that. I'm actually having breakfast tomorrow at one of my auto crimes cop buddies, and I was going to have him run it and get me the history.
Yeah.
But he says, yeah, the guy who owned the car was an older guy, and his son walks into the shop and told my buddy, "Listen, I want to get rid of my dad's car. He shouldn't be driving anymore. Do you want it?" So he took it. So it was the fellow who owned it, the old man who owned it, and then the shop who never titled it. So it really is a one-owner car. And I kind of thought so, because I was looking through, I found the owner's manual in it and the manual for the navigation. I'm like, no one leaves owner's manuals in the cars anymore.
Yeah.
I'm looking through it, and all the stuff that pertained to service had either check mark or he wrote a note on the back page. I'm like, somebody, at least the original owner, was taking care of this thing. And it ends up, it was the only owner. So
wow, that's good.
I got to do a little maintenance. There's a couple,
especially that car. Those kind of cars, those are really good cars. It's just that when if they're not taken care of, they're just a money pit, because it's so much to take care, clean up.
So now I'm falling into the Volvo parts thing. It's like the Porsche parts thing, or the insert foreign car here. So I got to find a good place to buy some parts, because like the armrest console, the hinge is broken. So I got to get the plastic hinge. And weirdly enough, it's very common. There's a side panel it's got leather seats, power seats, but the side panel where all the controls are, that's broken. And I looked it up, and it it's common. It comes up all the time. So I don't know if it was just a weak part. So if you know any place that's reliable to buy Volvo parts for a fairly decent price, let me know. So.
Yeah,
but just like you were saying with the batteries, I'm standing with my wife and I'm looking at the tires. She goes, "Wait, what are you doing?" She goes, "You said the tires look good." I'm like, "They do." I said, "But I'm checking the date codes, and they're all date coded 20." I'm like, "Okay, so they're not that old. That's good." She goes, "Wow, you can date code it. They date code." I'm like, "Yes, they do." I said, "You just got to know where to look." So.
Yeah, it is kind of funny, because I did the same thing. You're like looking, like, what are you looking at? And you're like, these are things that nobody knows or whatever, or you don't think of.
Right, exactly.
Things that everybody should check.
Yeah, well, that's the problem, because it wasn't until recently that they made a big deal about that. Because before it was just like, oh, we measure the tread depth. And if it's fine, it's fine. But I know that every once in a blue moon you'll hear something. There was a guy, especially when these used tire places got bigger and they're selling all these used tires. Somebody goes in there. Hell, I've got tires in my shed that are 35 years old that look brand new.
I finally just got rid of some of them. Like last summer, I took them down to the shop. I just started breaking them down and just get rid of them.
And, I have a pair of Mickey Thompsons that are the Mickey Thompson street tread,
With
and they're the big boys. They're like 33, 16, something like that. They're brand new. Never been look like they've never been mounted, but they've got to be 25, 30 years old. They've got mold has grown on them because they were in somebody's shed. In fact, I think it was a buddy of Lewis's.
Oh, wow.
And I was like, you know what? Maybe I'll use them for like test fitting something one day on a build or something.
Right.
I'll just stick them in the back corner and, and then when the building burns down and whatnot, then I won't have to worry about them anymore.
Something just came my way this week that I want to buy, but I got to check it out. The guy in Illinois who my buddy bought the car from. Now he's selling off everything because he's going to downsize and move to Tennessee. So he sends him pictures of I believe it was a 68 Corvette tri-power setup. The 3 Holly carbs.
The ones that you sent me?
Right.
Yeah, that's like that was early. I mean, that was
68, yeah.
That was like 66, 67. Because I had a guy that was when you sent that to me, he was a guy who worked on Corvettes back in the day.
So how do you date?
He was talking about the linkage.
The linkage. Yeah, but couldn't you put the early linkage on a later setup?
Oh, I guess you could. I mean, I'm just saying in general. Right.
So well, anyway, this guy threw out a number. He threw out $4,100. I'm like, no, I don't think so. But I'm thinking if I could get it for like $2,000.
Yeah, that's a hell, man. That was beautiful.
I may just have to pick that up and bring it home. Just because I have two Pontiac tri-powers already. So
yeah, well, he was Mike was telling me that was early. He said that was early 427.
Right.
So that would be like 65. I think he said 65, 66. Right.
I don't know if it came on a 65.
Maybe 66, 67.
66, 7, yeah.
Well, I know in 67 because the gas station I worked at, that was my everyday driving car, was a 427 tri-power setup.
Right.
When I had to make deliveries.
Right. That's cool. So I want to look into that, but I don't even know what I guess the market value is whatever anybody's willing to pay these days.
Well, the problem, I mean, it's like everything else, though, Ray. It comes down to when somebody's doing something, and when they need that original part or that, some of that stuff you can't find. You just
and that's the beauty. I don't need it at all. I mean, I have an engine I could bolt it onto, but I don't need it. So I'm hoping he needs to get rid of it.
Right. Yeah.
And if I happen to have a pocket full of hundreds,
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, since the pandemic, everything's gone up. Just anything everywhere.
Oh yeah, it's all crazy, dude.
I mean, the houses have gone up. Like in this area, I don't know how it is up there around you guys, but the houses jumped up real big, especially because people from California were selling their stuff and moving here.
Yeah.
And then, I mean, it's just insane. My son's kind of looking at houses right now, and I went with him, and this one house we looked at is really nice. It's close by. And I was like, God, that price is really steep. And then I pulled up Zillow and looked in the area, and I'm like, oh my God, even my house is worth that much. Oh my God.
Yeah. No, it's all crazy.
Honey was selling.
Yeah.
It's all crazy right now. I mean, everything, and then of course it's kind of like the Barrett-Jackson syndrome. Yeah. Everybody gets this wild idea that they've got, something with 4 wheels and no motor in it. And for some reason, it's got to still be only $300 less than what, the restored or, complete car.
It's crazy. Like I try to sell used car parts now and then, and people, every car part I see for sale, people want like $5 less than brand new.
Yeah.
Used, dusty box, doesn't matter.
Generally, I always price it like 50%.
Yeah, and I can't sell anything for anything more than like 25% of what it would cost new. It's insane. So I don't know how these people are listing all this stuff, and they just must not be selling it, or they're finding the brain dead people that don't shop around or whatever.
I got something for you at the shop. My buddy bought the Snap-on guy's old Snap-on truck a few years ago because the guy bought a new truck. So, and he really bought it just because it had a working liftgate. And he had the autos in, so he was moving a lot.
Last week you mentioned that.
he was moving a lot of stuff at the time, so he figured the liftgate would come in handy. And he did all that. Now he's saying, you know what? I got to clear out. I got to get rid of stuff. Selling the Snap-on truck. I'm like, really? So if you want to roll a Snap-on truck in, you can make another auxiliary bus out of it. It's still got the lettering on it.
That would be cool.
Well,
we actually had a scenario when I was in the company where there was a lot of stuff going down in Detroit, and a lot of the guys were peeling their Snap-on labeling off their trucks.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
There's a couple that I follow that took a gear wrench truck and they're converting it to a mobile home, type thing. And
I want like a Ryder truck or a U-Haul or something.
And
leave it all in company colors.
Oh yeah, they've gutted it all out, and they just were redoing it. And the guy's at the point where he goes, I don't know if I want to keep the lift gate or not. That's
wow, why would he not?
And I'm like, dude, the lift gate.
Some people want to make their main entrance at the rear of those cargo vans. So it just depends, I guess. But yeah, if you could at all keep the rear lift gate, I mean, heck, most of them are big enough. You flip them down, it could make a little deck.
Yeah, well, that's
sure.
I mean, I've done that before, and also, like I said, you want to. I've actually used mine to level my truck out. So, you brought it down.
Oh, you had to power it down.
Yeah, power it down, and
mine was just gravity down.
Yeah, mine had power down. Mine has the power down where.
If you got the
too bad. I tried one time. I had to change a tire. I tried to lift the truck. It wouldn't lift it. But
we did that when I had to do the brake lines on the tow truck.
Yeah.
And I said to Mike, I said, you know what? We don't have anything to lift this truck with. I said, but it could lift itself, right? And he goes, yeah. So we did just put it down and blew the boom, and the truck just lifted off the ground about 2.5 feet. I'm like, cool.
Yeah.
I tried. Right that bitch.
I got it. It was real close, but I couldn't get it so that I could lift up. So
if you've got the lift gate that comes up straight like that to the back, then you got a bullet barrier. If you know.
Oh right.
Except they're usually made of aluminum.
Yeah.
Never mind.
Yeah. No, but it is nice because, like you said, I've opened that back up. And like I said, it's like a deck, dude. You sit out there. Yeah, I remember that picture you sent.
We lifted it off the ground with the boom.
Yep.
Yeah, when I'd have like a truck cleaning day or moving stuff around or whatever, it was a nice little patio area out back. I could shuffle boxes and stuff out to and help you organize. Yeah.
Yeah. And I've actually where I've used it. I've raised it up as high as it'll go with it down, and then like put a tarp over it. And then I've had stuff stored out there, like if it was going to rain, like if I didn't have any place to put, or I had to move stuff around.
Right.
It's worked. I mean, like I said, I would personally leave. There's a lot you could use it for.
Yeah.
And especially
unless you absolutely had to get rid of it for whatever reason, I would definitely keep it.
Yeah.
Yeah. And like I said, makes sense. I mean, that's why he bought it, because the price was right and the liftgate worked. Of course, the controller was broken, so I had to fix that for him. I had to rebuild it.
Yeah.
But that was easy.
Yeah, those I've had to rebuild mine a couple of times.
Yeah.
It really sucks when you leave it plugged in and hook it to the side of the truck, and you drive down the road and you see that thing bouncing around, and you're like, motherfucker.
Yeah, and those remotes aren't cheap.
No.
Yeah, no.
I always wanted to get one of the remote winch controls and hack into the wiring in the truck and put the remote on it.
Yeah, they have you just plug in it's a Bluetooth.
Oh, they're fancy now.
Yeah, you can just plug it in, and you have a little keychain thing, and it's all Bluetooth. So
if you turn it into a taco truck, you can take that rear deck and make it a serving bar.
Right.
Yeah. So
Yeah, my buddy has a barbecue truck, and it's an old step van. I don't know if it was a UPS truck or what it was, but
Yeah, that's what I've seen out here. Is they look like they're old UPS vans. A lot of them.
yeah, and DC, all food trucks have to be dual axle, or not, dualies. Dually,
So Brian, one of the guys said to me when I told him I was driving down, he asked me if I was going to do the drive around Washington and Baltimore. I'm like, how do you do that?
That's the way the interstate goes.
And I remember we went down to Virginia to deliver a car a couple of years ago. Mike said we did that. It was like an outer route.
Yeah.
But
you have
I know how to do it.
95.
Right.
95 goes down. Then if you're 95 will go, take you straight through all of it. But then you can get off 295, 395, 495, and they're all interloops and they drive around.
the farther you can stay away from those cities, the better off you are.
So it sounds like it's worth doing it. Maybe it's obviously a little more mileage, but it sounds like it'd be a better. I mean, but when I went down last time, it wasn't that bad.
No, usually it just really depends on the time of the day that you come through, because you come as long as you miss the morning rush hour and the afternoon rush hour, dude, the Beltway, I mean, it's empty, dude. I mean, there's not that much.
We're gonna stay in Virginia overnight and then pick up the next day.
Yeah.
So
yeah, they have, it's the inner loop and the outer loop, and like I said, you have 270, 370, 470, I think, and then or 70's the main. That's the furthest out that you are. Then you have the 270, which brings you in, and 370. And it's just a loop. I mean, we used to, back in the day, we go out on 95 and drive the loop, and you do I don't know, what was it, 65 miles? You drive around all fucking night on the Beltway. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I mean,
yeah, we'll see how that works out.
But personally, I would just come. Like I said, if you're depends on where you're going or how far, where you're at. But if you shoot straight down 95, and like I said, if you time it right, and your traffic, you're not going to have the traffic. You just don't want to get down here at fucking 8 o'clock in the morning.
No.
And fight through all that. Or like I said, come through, like traffic starts like 3 o'clock. Everybody starts going home 3 to 5. And if you hit the 5 o'clock, it's going to take you till 7. You know what I'm saying? I mean, just to get through. It's just, but it usually starts building up around 3.
Which way is traffic flow? What's what's the morning and what's the afternoon direction? That
I'm not really good. I mean, I'm usually, well, it's not as, so.
They just kind of drive on instinct over there.
Yeah.
Well, it used to be, so let's see where I'm at. Like southbound was always heavier going into DC. And then coming home, it would be heading north. It would be lighter on the other side because people are coming in. The only thing since COVID, more people are working from home. So we don't have that. It's not as bad. It's starting to build back up. But, you don't have, in the morning, southbound wise, there's a few going up north. See, that's the problem where I'm at. I'm in the middle. I have a lot of people, either you're going to Baltimore or you're going to DC, and one's north and one's south. So it's kind of, you're going to have, I have it kind of on both sides.
Yeah.
Driving up.
You're in the middle of the shit sandwich.
Well, just about, considering I'm almost equal distance from Baltimore and DC.
Right.
It's 45 minutes basically.
Right.
So I'm kind of in the middle. That's why, like I said, if you come straight down 95, I can be over the overpath and wave to you.
Yeah, right.
Because I'm right, and you're going to come right by. I mean, you're literally right down 95. You're literally 5 miles from me, maybe.
Wow.
6 miles. I mean, I'm pretty close to 9.
Well, you know what? Well, when I'll let you know where I'm at, and we'll see if we cross paths.
Yeah, I mean,
it's funny. We're playing musical houses because my younger daughter just got back from a long weekend in Nashville, so she was away like for a long weekend, and now we're turning around and we're leaving. It's like,
yeah, it's crazy.
The cat doesn't know who the hell's taking care of. Like, what? Where's everybody going?
Yeah, I tell you, my dog. I mean, poor Lucy was, because when we left, she's like standing like, what's going on here? And of course, the girls are taking care, and everything was good. But man, when I walked in that door, I never talk about dog all excited. It was like, man, I didn't think you were coming.
Like he was on crack.
Right. It's like you had a pocket full of bones.
Yeah, I'm like, she did actually. I came in and we sat down and. She came over, laid her head on my foot, and wouldn't let me. I mean, you're not going anywhere else,
nice. That's cool.
So I told her I had to go get fuel for the tool truck
around the corner.
Was your wife happy with the trip?
She was okay. I mean, there really wasn't much to do down there.
Right.
I mean, the river walk was okay, and thank God the weather. I mean. The weather was really nice. Last time we were there, it was 9 years ago. It was snowing. So, I mean, the weather and, you've been to the Alamo. There's nothing, like I said, there was a rodeo in town, but like I said, I don't know. I go back and forth. It would have been nice to stay an extra day and go do something, but again, there's nothing really.
So what are you gonna do? Yeah,
it was nothing. Next year we're down in our Orlando, Florida.
Oh, okay.
Next year. So
do they move it around every year?
Yeah. Usually it's it goes Orlando, and then it goes Vegas, and then it's usually someplace new. And or someplace that we haven't been to in quite a while. That's why San Antonio. It was 9 years ago when we went to San Antonio.
They ever have you guys in Phoenix?
We've talked about Phoenix. They've talked about Washington, D.C., which I really hope that doesn't happen. Well, I mean, they pick. I mean, we've had Tennessee before.
Yeah, and they come to New York the year I move.
Well, they picked. I mean, we picked like the year they had Tennessee, and it's always in February, so it was cold and shitty, and people are like, "Look, dude, the people the people that were in Montana. We were sitting with these guys from Montana." And they're looking at it's 7 degrees. They're they look back home and it's 7 degrees, dude. They want to go someplace warm. They don't and sun. So
yeah, them warm is 30.
Yeah, well, again, it's they still want warm. I really like San Diego. San Diego was nice.
Yeah,
but it was too small. There wasn't enough room. San Antonio, there wasn't. We were in 3 hotels. We took over 3 hotels. So,
yeah, that's one thing I miss about the annual conference with the Snap-on is they always went over the top for that.
Yeah, like Snap-on's at the point now where they do it 2 times a year.
Yeah,
they do 2 different regions. They don't even have everybody all together.
Yeah.
Because,
so when I was in, it was still all one.
Yeah, they don't even do it. They'll have one at the beginning of the year. And if you want, you can go to that, like I said, or they'll have one in your region in the spring, or what. That's what I'm hoping that we don't go that route, because I hope it doesn't happen. I don't want that.
Did you happen to run into Matco Michael down there?
I did not see him.
Okay. I know him and his wife, they drove in.
Yeah, I did not see him.
Just look for the big unkempt beard.
Yeah, well, there's a lot of guys on.
I'll tell you, man. It's like I watch these guys. Like, dude, get a fucking trimmer. You know, I'll do it for you. Just get a freaking hedge clipper or something. Like, tame that thing. It's like unwieldy.
Dude, there's a lot of guys that are just.
Well, now you can do the hipster thing and grow it out, but shape it. And I saw it. I was in the store, and actually, they sell beard wax, so you could use that to help shape it, and then it looks cool because it's a sculpted thing. But to just like make it look like a bunch of weeds is kind of ridiculous.
What are you trying to say, Ray?
Yeah. Well, you got yours.
We got four bearded guys on this call right now.
Yeah, and then everybody looks okay.
Way to go.
Yeah, well, everybody's okay.
Yeah, and
not the offenders.
That was I shaved the other day.
Yeah, you shaved yesterday. I could tell.
Yeah, you saw the picture. I was pretty clean.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah, when me and Luke talked, he was like, "Yeah," he goes, "Man, I felt like crap that day, and I was sick, and man." He's like, "I want to call Ray back, and we gotta get back." I told him, I said, "Come on Thursday night, man. Come on."
Sure.
So.
It's not usually crowded here in the after show. You can always hop on here and just shoot the breeze too.
Oh, sure. Absolutely. Absolutely.
But the funniest part, Ray, was, we have those, I don't think I have one down here. I don't have a small one. Tool organizer.
The magnetic one?
No. The tool organizer, it's a plate, and you slip it into your toolbox, and it has all the little fittings, for sockets or wrenches, and you screw it all in, and it's an awesome set. I mean, it's just time consuming. I mean, that's the only problem with this.
Right.
But organizing, you gain up so much space. You don't have all the boxes, you don't have all the rails, you don't have all the stuff, and put it in. Right. So I'm standing there with Luke, and we're talking, and another vendor, the guys, I think it's Mantis. They're the ones that make the tool organizer.
Right.
Well, Luke won product of the year on tool organization.
Oh, with the new flexi thing for the ratchet, for the wrenches?
With the wrenches and the sockets and the new cups that he made. I mean, the new cups. So this
is the thing here.
Yeah. Yep. So
that's pretty cool. I just say something. I'll tell you about it in a second. After
he won new product tool organizer of the year.
Nice.
Okay, so he had his little plaque and his little trophy.
Yeah.
So the guy comes over and he grabs the wrench flex thing, and he goes, he flexes it like this, sticks it in the box, picks it up, and he grabbed the socket thing, right, and puts the socket on, sticks it down, and he goes, and this guy won tool of the year.
Who gave him the new product of the year award?
It was voted through Matco.
Oh, from Matco. Okay.
Yeah. Through us distributors on, that he won.
Good. I got to make notes because I'll talk to him about that when he comes on.
And that was through. Have you ever seen Distributor? It's a magazine. I should send you a copy of it. But it's all the new tools coming out and product.
Oh, no. I'd love to see that.
And they vote for all this stuff, innovational stuff, a new product, and we care, it's voted stuff. So that's where, he wins all, he won this. And the look on Luke's face was funny because he's like, and they make tool organize, and I won. And then, of course they mumble and they walked off. So then I said, hey Luke, there is something else, I said, I understand the flexibility thing and you can't do it, but I said, if you just make a 4x12 square with this facet being magnetic to sit in there, that's 1/3 of the tool organizer, and you put 3 of them in a drawer, you can organize a whole drawer. And he goes, well, what? I said, you've put them out of business because what they have is really nice and it's a great product. But the only problem is I've been working 6 months trying to get my stuff organized.
Yeah.
And this is like, see, this is see, I just got some more. Like this, like these little things are to hold ratchets. So you would take that and see how it has a cup with a slide. That was screwed down on the board, and then the back side of the ratchet.
Slide the head in there.
Or the extension, see, that would sit in there.
Yeah.
And then you would have another side.
Right.
And then you can lay this all out, and you know if you're missing. I said, it's awesome.
That's cool.
But you take somebody like you.
That's tedious to set up.
Yeah. You take somebody like you that's had stuff laying around for 30 years, and now all of a sudden you're going to pull everything out of your drawers.
Right.
And get it all set up.
Well, that's the thing.
I have probably 2 shoe boxes full of extensions alone.
You see, I've committed to wrench rails, 40 years ago, and now the newer snap-on sockets I bought came in the magnetic holders, so I just left them in those.
Yeah.
Before that, I was using the regular rails with the little clips on them, and just standing them up. So.
See, like this is these are 1/4-inch things. See.
Yeah.
And so it screws in. So you have a board with the holes in them, and you just lay this all down. See, this is the older version.
Is that for a socket?
That's for a 1/4-inch socket.
See, now the other thing, like my buddy at the shop ended up buying those porcupine stands to drop the sockets on, and I thought it was stupid at first until I started using them on his box. I said, no, this is pretty cool because
they break though. We got to be careful.
Yeah, I guess they could
break a lot. I mean,
yeah.
But
this is the word tools and me are in the breakage isn't in the same sentence. So I don't break.
Yeah, I know. Well, the problem is you get into bigger sockets.
I guess
they bounce off of that.
No, he did it. I know he did it for his 1/4-inch stuff, so that made sense.
So they have this is the blue one is for metric.
Yeah.
And then red is for standard.
Right. See, when I saw the magnetic socket rails, I said, wait a minute, this is great, because actually I saw it at the other shop and the guy had it stuck to the wall. I was like, what the hell is this? And then he showed me it was magnetic. I'm like, wow, you could take this under the car, put it on the lift post. You could put this anywhere where you're working, and now you have all your sockets.
So the problem
is getting it out of the toolbox drawer because it sticks to it.
See, the problem was with the older version of these, you had to use a screw. So when you put it all together, you were screwing down, and then of course, if you made a mistake or something wasn't lining up, you had to unscrew everything.
Right.
So that was one of our complaints to the company. And of course, what they did then, they took and put pins on the bottom.
Okay.
So that you could plug that into the board.
Now it's a Lego kit.
Right, and then if that's where you want it, then you can put the screw because it had a still place for the screw.
You might not even need the screw.
Yeah, and that way you can move it around faster and do it. The only
Right.
problem was because they said the extra little plastic on it increased the price. Instead of getting like 5 or 10 like on the other packs, you only got 3.
I mean, you got to buy like 50, 100 of those things.
So that's
Dude.
a good question. Put a
Yeah.
rough dollar figure on organizing your socket drawer.
Well, actually, I started with mine. I started with one drawer on mine, okay? And the kit was $200. You got 2 boards and you got I only had to buy a couple extra. I had to buy the wrench rails, which was like around $35. So I had like let's say $250 in the one drawer for the organization, which is cheaper by the time you're spending like, those wrench racks from Easy Red are $50 a piece. If you went with any kind of socket rails are $18 for plastic, $10 for metal ones. So
I'm still using the red sawtooth ones I got from the Snap-on guy back in 1979.
Yeah.
Still in my toolbox, and they haven't broken yet.
I mean, even if you took those, I mean, I use those too. I don't actually, but I'm talking about like see, the one thing that was nice with our rails like this.
Yeah.
See how it has the screw holes?
Yes.
Well, they screw on that board.
Oh, okay.
So you can save a lot because you have this. You're screwing this down.
See, that's the thing. I've come to learn that the beauty is taking that rail,
the whole rail, and running,
and going out, because you got to go outside, or you got to go across the lot, or you got to go. So you want that mobility. Otherwise, you're picking like 2 or 3 off, and the one you need is still on the rail anyway. So
I mean, I will admit that's true. But I mean, there's some guys. Trust me. There's some guys that never leave their bay.
Never leave it.
If it doesn't come in my bay, I don't work on it.
All right. Yeah. Well, in that case, that makes sense. I give you that. Yeah, I got it. But I think most of us move around.
But the nice thing was, and of course they started, with carts. Like I took on a lot of my boards and I've cut it down to fit inside of the cart.
Right.
And then, you screw all your sockets in there and you put your wrench rack and so blah, blah, blah. And then you have, because, some people just move around with their cart instead of their box.
Sure.
So it's it does. But the problem is it is so tedious in work trying to set it up because I can't tell you how many times I've gotten halfway through and I'm like, man, I really want my wrenches facing this way now. And you got to rip everything out.
Yeah, you see, if you had them on rail, you could just move them and it's easier to move the furniture around that way. Yeah, just becomes the same problem. So anyway, my buddy TJ, who's the body guy, you hit on it before. He's the guy that has the rock, the smooth rocks and the pieces of wood in his box. I think I've showed you a picture of his stuff before. He sends me a picture today of that Torx bit. He says, the Torx screw. He says, dude, he goes, I'll tell you what he said to me. He said, bloop. He says, okay, this would normally be a number 10 Torx, but it's weird and doesn't fit. My Torx doesn't fit in there. Any idea?
Yeah.
And I said to him, I said, it's not a square drive. It's not I said, you could try fitting an Allen in there. Sometimes you get an Allen key in. And then he sent me the second picture of the Matco screwdriver. He says, no, my 30-year-old mini screwdriver ground down to fit. And he got it out. So
yeah, it's a Torx Plus.
He got it out. It's Torx Plus.
Yeah.
Good old Torx Plus.
Now,
Torx Plus slightly more rounded.
I haven't come across that yet. What's the difference in the...
Well, a Torx is more star, and a Torx Plus or a tamper-proof Torx is more square. It's got a more square edge on it.
This kind of looks, well, yeah, maybe in each point it's kind of.
Well, it's the point on that. See the see the point. I mean, there. I don't know if it's going to show on here. I got the light bouncing off of it. Damn it!
Give it a second for the camera to adjust.
Yeah, mine's always 2.
Hold still, right there.
Goes.
Okay. See how it's
okay.
See how the square? It's more square. Whoops.
That kind
It's
of
not pointed. It's
almost
more
like it's
square.
almost like a
A
pentagon.
cog.
all right.
Yeah.
I just sent you guys the same pictures I just sent Brian, so you can see what I'm talking about. And Brian, the last one was my breakfast from today, so I know you want to see that. They were
Yeah.
fresh made blueberry pancakes with sausage.
Now the funny part, that picture with the guy standing in the toolbox
Yeah.
that you
yeah.
sent me.
Yeah.
There's another one. They had 2 guys standing in it. 2 guys that size.
That was on Matt Go's YouTube feed, by the way.
Yeah, they took that one down.
Did they? For liability reasons. Well, I'm glad I clipped it while I could.
No. They left that one. They took the one with the 2 people
Oh,
down.
the 2 guys. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, that's definitely a plus.
That didn't go over because there's nobody holding that box. There's nothing holding that box down.
Oh yeah, and the drawer's open. Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's surprised. I'm surprised that they were able to do that. Actually, is a testament.
That's inside. That's in the. Dude, I'm telling you, I didn't take that much. I know there were some guys clicking pictures left and right all over the place.
Yeah.
And dude, they were all over everybody's camera, dude.
Yeah.
They did not. They actually sent us today pictures to put on.
Oh, approved pictures. Yeah.
Yeah, guys were taking pictures, and they're not even. I don't even know if it's in this picture. Let me see. The guys from Snap-on got in big trouble for the same thing.
Really?
Because a lot of the ones from the show had the prices in them.
Ah.
And that's
a no-no.
Yeah.
And actually in this one here,
see, I cut it. What I did is I just left a Matco thing on top, but that was a feed off the off their site, so I kind of trimmed it. Where the hell did I put the picture?
yeah, no, it wasn't on this one. There's another one that has pricing in it. It has our pricing.
Right.
And that's the problem. That was one of the biggest problems. The bundle deal. The bundle deal is great. It's great pricing for us. You know?
Sure.
But you turn around and then you show. That's why I don't have a show flyer here. But guys were printing out show flyers and giving to their customers and saying, "What do you want?" And these guys are saying, "Oh, well, I'll take one of these bundles."
Right.
Like, dude, that bundle's costing me $8,000.
That'd be me.
That's like $10,000 your cost, dude. It's hard to explain. You.
I know what I had to tell you. I got a real surprise this week. Clay Coon's pick, his pan, came true to me. We were first talking about the bamboo socks. And I love those socks. And he says to me, the only problem is I wear them every day and I wear through them. I wear through like on the big toe. Well, I wore through a pair on the big toe on my left foot because my feet are kind of like they're a little weird. So now I'm putting the left foot on the right foot and the right foot on the left foot. I was like, oh shit, he was right. I'm like, no. I'm like, I gotta buy the 120 box now. God damn it. Clay was right. I didn't think they would do that, but I thought he was just.
I've only had one pair do on mine.
Well, I only have one pair that did too, so maybe it's just like 1 out of 10 or something.
Yeah, I had one pair that did mine, and I thought that it was just the too much play in the shoe, like my foot was moving around,
Right,
moving
Your
around.
big toenails too long.
Well, that's it is, and I know when I look at my foot, my toes are definitely on an angle. The big toe is definitely, it's out more than the others, so that's going to be the first point of contact. I know that, but yeah, and I guess as the nail gets a little longer, that's.
But I thought, well, I said, because when especially like I said, the redback shoes, when they get a little stretch, my feet start to move around a little bit in them, and it's not, they don't hurt or anything, or it's not a, uncomfortable feeling. I noticed the play in the thing.
Right.
So by then I usually wear, either, but going back to it, I have 10 or 15 pairs of them that are rotated throughout the week, and I think I only had one that did that, and I don't know why that only one did.
Yeah, I don't. Out of the pairs I wear, only one has done it so far. So maybe it's just random through the batches. I don't know.
Yeah,
like I said, the left becomes the right becomes the left. Now
my daughter said that she was on. I threw them away. I just threw that pair away. And my daughter says, "Well, I can sew them up if you want." I was like, "I don't know if you could. I mean,
sure,
okay." Because, like I said, they're great.
My mom used to darn socks all the time. Yeah.
So,
take a piece
all
of
right, gentlemen. I'm going to take that opportunity to.
You're gonna roll out.
Yeah, it's already midnight.
Man,
we're gonna go too. We're done. I gotta take
6 a.m. gym time comes around pretty early.
I got a breakfast call tomorrow. Like I said, I got to meet with the Romeo Club tomorrow morning. So
there you go.
That's awesome.
All right, Tyler.
All right,
I won't
gentlemen.
see you next week unless I can log in from wherever the hell I am. I'll be in North Carolina somewhere.
I didn't see that where John Day said he's got a 03 Jetta. Oh, that's a diesel. Never mind. TDI.
Oh yeah, there he goes.
Yeah, he had that Jetta with 500,000 kilometers too.
Wow.
So that's 1.6 communist units to the mile.
Oh,
all right, gentlemen. Have a great night.
All right,
Take care, Tyler.
All right, Isaac. You want to do the official duty tonight or what?
Ending honors, yes. You can follow us on Facebook, Instagram, now Patreon. You can follow us throughout social media, YouTube. But whatever you do, do not follow us home. Ray does not need help taking his trash out, and Brian does not need help with his sandwiches.
No, that's right.
And now, don't forget to check out Motormouth Video on YouTube because we're putting our Sunday shows up on the YouTube channel. So you can check that out there. So
yeah, I'm glad you did that. I was able to listen in and catch it. Well, watch it too, but as I messaged you, I was had a father-daughter event with my daughter's sorority. So
yeah, I figured out how to do it finally. I mean, it's been a long time coming, and it took me weeks to get it into effect because I can only do it when I'm in the studio. And I got a live show before me and a live show right after me. So
yeah,
I got like minutes to do stuff, and we had a couple of failed attempts, and now we got it working. So
good. I like that.
I heard I think it was the second failed attempt where it got stuck in a loop
right
on the radio.
I found out that on YouTube I have to mute YouTube, but again, that was another and it went now it's cool. So now I can freely start bringing in my props again. I got a couple for this week already. For this week I got a few props to bring in, so that'd be fun.
That's
So,
awesome.
Yeah, that's awesome.
all right, fellas. Well, have a good week. I'll be driving a lot. I'll stay in touch.
Yeah, stay in touch. Be safe.
Yeah,
Watch out.
definitely.
I will. And
Yeah, be
I'll let
safe.
you know when I'm coming through the greater Baltimore area.
Yeah.
That'll be on Tuesday because Monday we're leaving here. We're going to stay in Virginia overnight. Then Tuesday in the morning we're going to do the last leg. It's only about 4 hours. 4 hours. So,
and that's to go pick it up.
No, I'm driving the RAV4 down to Charlotte.
You're right. Yeah.
So as soon as I give her car back, then she's got to take me to the rental company so I can get the car that I rented. And then we're going to spend the week down there. We're going to go over to Raleigh and look, look at houses. And
so both you going down?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Did your daughter already find a place?
Yeah, she did.
Okay.
She secured it last week. She went down earlier. Well, the end of January, and they looked at like 10. They're renting a house, so they looked at 10 of them. 8 of them they discounted, and then of course the last 2, he liked one, she liked the other, and they didn't agree. So they came back without having a rental. But now he has family down there who they're close with. So his cousin went, and she actually went to a couple rentals that they found and FaceTimed it, and they looked at it on video, and they were actually they found something they liked. So
that's good.
That's good.
So it worked out okay. So all right. So I will see you guys during the week, and see you on Sunday too.
Be safe.
All
Talk
right.
to you soon.
Yeah.
All righty.
Take care, guys.